Alrighty, looks like we've got the all clear. This race will be starting shortly. And fair good luck to all of our runners as we get going here.
And the race is off. Ooh. Early life 1 already from the get-go, and lit 3.
Lit 3 and life. What position was that life in? Was that life? Oh, that's right in the first slot. That's great for Red Mage. At level 1, the Red Mage is allotted the first and third slots of level 1. As a Red Wizard, he would also gain the fourth slot of level 1. So it's great to see life basically not in that position too.
But there is a problem with that Red Mage. He has to choose between life and a lit 3 at level 1.
Ooh, the power to give life or the power to take it away.
Actually, that might depend on if they have to go to Marsh.
See, as a viewer, I'm definitely looking forward to them going to Marsh, hopefully. As a runner, I definitely would not want that on myself. But let's just hope that the struggle is real for them, because certainly their pain is our gain.
Oh, but Sho lost a black buff to a wolf in TOF just now.
Oh.
And there's early TNT.
So now the question becomes, how many people are going to take a risk on an early dive of the Marsh Cave? We know the TNT's not in there. You can blow the TNT and go ahead and move on. Go back for those difficult but sweet 10 treasure chests.
If I was in their shoes and I see TNT this early, I'd say, forget it. I'm going straight to Melman.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. It's going to depend on how the rest of these spells play out, because if you get Warp, maybe you think about it. If you get Exit, maybe you think about it. You've got Lit 3, so you know you can overcome the wizards, but statistically, there's only 10 chests in there, so you have to be a gambling man to be able to make that decision.
Meanwhile, Salty's going to take on the Pirates right now.
Salty has not picked up the TNT yet, so we will see what happens on his end, what decisions he makes going forward. A little bit of a rough struggle, but it looks like Lit 3 is going to get the job done for Salty Fry.
But Silver Dagger and the Heal Potion are the last 2 chests in the TOF for now until you get the key.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little bit of a downside. I didn't see what their starting gold was, but Silver Dagger and a Heal Potion's not going to help them buy supplies down the road.
But it does give the Red Wizard a fighting chance if he has to go melee.
Looks like Garland survived a cast of Lit 3 for Zalnob and for Shofukamachi. Garland's a little beefy, it seems like.
I'm guessing Garland might be at 200 HP at best.
It's going to take a bit for Garland to knock them all down, but we'll see what happens.
Shout out to Fuchsia, he said Garland's max HP could be around 230 at best.
Yeah, the enemy percents go as high as 220%, so it's certainly possible. We're going to see potentially some beefy characters here.
Meanwhile, Salty is heading to the Matoya to see what's in here.
That's a solid amount of gold early, 2135. It's a pretty solid amount there.
Yeah, especially if you have to buy spells at Elfland, because they can get expensive as you know where.
If we're going by Salty Fry's character names, it looks like he's trying to dirt nap 2 of his black belts, so it looks like he's going to go with 1 black belt, 1 red mage to the end of the game.
The classic 2-man strat, aka Artea strats. That could work, actually, in a long run.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Meanwhile, Salty Fry is going to the Dwarf Cave, and it doesn't look like he has been to Temple of Fiends yet.
No, I think he's probably betting on that TNT is in Dwarf Cave, but we all know it's not. It's in TOF.
And there's definitely an ongoing debate on the merits to checking Dwarf Cave. It only provides 2 chests. At the very beginning of the game, initially, there are 18 chests that you can check before you find either the TNT or the crown. For normal purposes, we know where the TNT is, but it only provides a 1 in 9 chance the TNT is in the Lazy Dwarfs. Yet, when you miss it, it could set you back a ways.
Yeah, meanwhile, when you were explaining that, in those 2 chests that Salty just checked, there's a light axe and a cap.
A light axe might serve for a good peninsula power grind. It might help him get through the Earth Cave and Ice Cave. Ghosts over in Sea Shrine. Or if it sell? It doesn't sell for much.
Never sell the light axe, in my opinion.
You never know. There's a second one floating around out there.
By the way, did you check what's in the level 2 Provoker shops for magic?
According to Czar, Wall's in there, but I actually did miss level 2. Salty went Pirates, and I just missed it. Hopefully Zalnop went right to Pirates, and so he'll still take the trip over to the magic shop. Okay, now Salty Fry's making his way to Temple of Fiends. He's certainly going to be happy he went there instead of the Marsh Cave.
By the way, cheap tents at Provoca for 7 gold apiece.
That is going to help their overworld travel immensely. Looks like Brack
we got Brack strats coming in.
Brack strats were a favorite last round when you had 3 black mages trying to take on Kraken, and all Kraken was doing was punching your black mages in the face.
But there is a Fog 2 in level 2 as well.
Fog 2 is one of those spells that I feel it's good early, but it I feel like it tapers off in relation to just pure evasion if you get a Viz 2 or the White Shirt.
Meanwhile, Salty's gotta get his Silver Dagger and Heal Potion.
One of the things to note is our runners should make sure they take out Garland at some point. If not now, then, you know, maybe when they are doing their Mystic Key crown chests, because we had a few issues last round of people who never went to kill Garland trying to go in and kill Phantom, and lo and behold, Garland's there with the princess, and people are saying, oh, well, I gotta go do this now, and it sets them back a couple. Something happened to Salty where he reset. I don't know if he meant to or not.
Yeah, but those heal potions are not a bad price either for 15 apiece.
Yeah, but that house is a little expensive for my liking.
That's too much for my blood to buy a house for that high in this seed.
I think I'll just wait till a seed where the housing market tanks.
But then again, those cabins are not that bad price either.
No, tents can only be found in 2 of the towns in the game, and so if they run out, cabins would make for a great replacement.
Well, Exelnov's about to blow up the canal right now.
Yep, and it does not look like any of our runners have head in the direction of Marsh Caves, so it looks like our off-stream runners went in the same direction, a lot of them.
For Zondo, quick question. Are you Team Tyro or Team Steak?
You know, I used to be Team Tyro because I felt like they were an endangered species, and they were just so rare that you wanted to salvage the population as best as you could, and then I found out how much they were worth, and now I like them rare.
Ah, so you joined the Steak side. I'm still on the Tyro side, actually.
It was almost a necessity. And I harken back to that scene in Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller, and he's got the panda head on his head. He's like, I killed the thing I love the most. But then you get over it, and you get a boatload of experience per Tyro kill.
Unless you have that magic grind with T-Rexes.
So we've got Nuke, and I saw in Viz we got Warp at level 5. 5 is interesting for Red Mage. I believe you get the first slot as Red Mage, you get the second slot as Red Wizard.
Yeah, and that means, like, it's gonna be a tough decision for our runners today to see which they want more, the Nuke or the Warp.
Yeah, and sometimes I get it backwards, because the opposite magic side at level 5 is you get 1 and 4 as a Red Mage, and then 2 and 3 as a Red Wizard. I'm pretty sure that's white, but if not, just swap the 2.
By the way, Quickly got blasted hard by Ogres and Creeps having Blizzard and Stinger.
There's some semi-cheap silver bracelets, but pro rings are 15,000 apiece.
I'd rather look for a pro ring right now than buy one, unless it's desperation.
Definitely. And certainly you're going to debate the point on whether or not you want to put silver bracelets on black belts. They work well early, but with black belts, it's 1 absorbed per level. So after 15 or so, those silver bracelets are kind of falling off in quality. And then you can pick up the silver bracelet for your Red Mage if you want. It has a little better evasion than, say, the chain armor, which you can also wear. The counter to that, of course, is the chain is usually very, very cheap. So
yeah, but meanwhile, I believe Exelna was about to wipe to the Peds.
Well, I thought he was Pede grinding, but maybe the Peds are grinding him.
Yep, Zalma says nope, resetting. Question in chat: would Exalma be better served to go bracket instead of Lit 3? I don't know, to be honest.
It's tough because you're talking about the chance of stoning versus guaranteed damage. It's going to depend purely on exactly how many hit points the Peds have. If they had, say, 150, you know, you could get away with it. He's going to give Brack a shot here, though. So Lit 3 is currently kind of the most powerful spell until you get to, what is it, level 11 or 12, where you can use the level 5 spells?
I believe so, either 10 or 11 or 12 if I remember correctly. But question in chat, what was tier 3 and 4 black magic? I haven't seen Elfland yet, have you?
I think Quicklit was just there and we missed it. And I keep looking over the shoulder. Hold on, I got this. Ice 2, Lit 2 at 4. That was all I got to see on an off streamer. We're about to pop into level 6 here, so we're going to see what's at 6. Or Zalnop's going to skip it and run straight for the canoe. Thanks, Zalnop.
By the way, Sho just dove into Earth.
Let's see if Zalnop heads back to the magic shops. For Red Mage, or let me rephrase that, for Red Wizard, you get the top slot of Black Mage and the bottom 3 slots of White Mage. Got Harm 4 in the White Magic shop at Melmond. And there's our Warp. Warp is out. Nuke is in, so I was wrong. Black is 1 and 4 for Red Mage, 2 and 3 for Red Wizard. So finding the tail is going to prove beneficial for the Red Mage.
Also, Bane at Crescent Lake.
Which slot was it? Because if it's not the top slot, it's out.
It's top slot, so it's can't be out unless you are Red Wiz, I believe.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see, because obviously in doing this, or in what was doing the Earth Dive, you're just going for 5 chests. And it looks like Quicklit is going to follow the same suit. Boy, I tell you, I think Artia and Will Bloodworth are getting into these racers' heads about checking Earth Cave first. And I can't lie to you, it's not a terrible play.
It's not, but it's usually whoever created the seed will determine that, and we know who created the seed already.
That would be our lovely tracker, Zarya. Thank you so much for making this seed. I certainly hope it comes to fruition in an awesome and fantastic way. As I'm looking at an off-stream runner, just to make you aware of what's going on offhand, we've got Minochi in the Marsh Cave right now.
Minochi gambling on the march already?
Yeah, he's heading to the bottom floor, so I don't think he found anything on the top floor he particularly wanted to keep.
And
well,
by the way, we got Vanilla Cobras because they have Poison Touch.
It's just gonna set your pure supplies back. So it looks like we got Salty Fry fishing for those peeds. I don't know that he's seen them yet to start with the Lit 3 and think those will work. Solid first hit, though. He has more than 212 hit points. I'd actually be interested to know your take on this. With a Light Axe, I almost would half consider a Peninsula Power Grind. Whether you can take on those Zombles or the Frost Wolves could go down with Castellet 3.
In my opinion, I'd say a PvP grind might be mandatory.
Yeah, this spell allotment has basically come down to Lit 3 and a castable undead item. Looks like a good saving Lit 3 for Quicklit there, as he's down to just his poisoned Red Mage.
Nothing but flame armor.
Well, hope it sells. It looks like at this point our runners are just desperate to grab a couple of levels here and there.
I can't blame our runners. You know, especially with just 3 and the and the light axe.
Yep, I think our runners are just in a desperate attempt to try to find some levels here and there. Lit 3 doesn't seem to be getting the job done in a lot of cases. This could prove to be difficult. Once they get to that 11, 12 mark, that'll make Nuke useful and, you know, help get the levels in. It's just crossing that initial barrier first is going to be difficult for our runners.
Question for chat. Will we see Valk, Ice, or Deals first? What's your take on it, Forzano?
The non-incentivized chests make you encourage either gambling or just pure bulk chest checking. The favorite goes to the Volcano, but, you know, at this point, Lit 3... I don't really know if it's going to get you through the Ice Cave, because it'll get you through the Wizards fine, but what about the Frost Giant, Frost Wolf combos, or many of the Undead? You're just going to simply run out of charges and just hope that Light Axe might get the job done. I mean, at this point, I almost think Earth Cave is the right play, just on the grounds of trying to gain some levels and try to push forward. If not, the Volcano is just going to provide you the Armory, which is a dense block of chests. Unfortunately, to check some of the mandatory ones, you're going to need to fight some fire, so it's really going to be a tough call depending on how these runners get their levels and how they sort of play this out.
If it was me, I would go for Volcano first, but seeing that I only have a Lightning 3 spell and a Light Axe, it would be too bad to go to Ordeals first.
The only downside to Ordeals being that it is not incentivized, that it only provides you with 9 chests to check. Now, it does provide you a very interesting grind spot in the Zombie Dragon. If the Zombie Dragon rolls low hit points, your Light Axe can help you overcome that. It looks like we got Zalnop. Looks like he's going to the Volcano.
Yeah, but he's getting hit pretty hard by the Hydras, though. Like, he wants to, like, don't want to deal with them right now.
I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, if you cut off one head, 2 more will take its place. Oh, and Quad X is locked for the game. That is a darn shame right there.
Forzano, what's your opinion on this new combat screen on both the down-ups and the quick list screens right now on the battle scene?
Yeah, so they're playing with one of our newer flag sets called Modern Battlefield. This brings the battlefield more closely aligned to future Final Fantasy games. Actually, it's one of those things I've gotten used to. At first, I really didn't like it because my eye is drawn from the character to the right, as you can see like on Shofu Kamachi's screen right now. My eye is drawn from the character right over to their hit points, whereas on the Modern Battlefield, you kind of have to look down and keep track of that list that way. But otherwise, it's much cleaner, and it looks more pleasing to the eyes on an overall scale.
Yeah, for me, either battle screen's fine for me, but since I did play Final Fantasy 3 with this type of screen, it feels like home to me, to be honest.
It looks like Salty Fry's having some success with the grind in some facet. The Red Mage is getting up in some levels. All he has to do... Oh, I had not had that realization. We're playing with a Red Mage. Everything is set back. Red Mage don't gain spell levels in the same way Black Mage or White Mage does, so that actually pushes back how far they can use the nuke spell. It's not 11.
Yeah, and the thing is, how badly can you wait for those charges?
I mean, just the sheer distance of how far you have to go with Red Mage. The early game, you gotta hope that you have good spells within even the first 4 levels. But even 4 levels, I think Red Mage gets his first charge of 4 at probably, I think 11 or something like that. I've not actually studied up on Red Mage. I'm commentating tonight because I wasn't prepared for this particular flag.
Well, be kind of glad you did, because the Hydras are dealing like at least 75 damage per black belt. I go with the 3-man grind instead of the 2-man.
Yeah, it's really going to be tough because spells definitely have been a premium. At least AoE damaging spells have been at a premium in this game. Unfortunately, the sea, the ocean, and even to an extent the canals, the rivers, are not that great of a source of experience, though Lit 3 could be usable in those situations. I think you're right. I'm almost wondering if somebody doesn't take a sniff at Peninsula Power with that Light Axe. Ooh, just see those fires did not have much hit points at all. Went down to an ice too.
That could be a potential grind.
Well, I tell you, they're one mass immune away from making this game all better.
Unless you want the Masamune to be possibly in that Sea Shrine lock chest, that's the only guarded by the Mystic Key.
You're a cruel man. You're a cruel man. Short of vanilla mass immune chest.
Oh, it's vanilla. I'll be rage quitting immediately, in my opinion.
We got Quicklit heading for the armory, and we've got Zalnop heading for the mandatory fire chest.
Oh, and Salty Fart decided to go to Ordeals.
We've got our first route divergence, folks. Let's see how this plays out. I caught a quick glance at Zalnop's screen. It didn't look like he had any level 4 spells. He might run into some trouble with the fires.
Yeah, but Quicklit's kind of loaded right now, and Medusas have hold.
Seems like the volcano seems to be the popular destination. I'm looking at our off-stream runners. We've got 1, 2 in the volcano. We have 2 on-screen in the volcano. And Shofu Kamachi, of course, is heading to the volcano.
Yeah, it seems like Medusas have mute as well, along with hold. So basically, they're just trying to hold you hostage.
Yeah, mute is... I discovered in the seed from the other night, mute is a horribly underrated effect that happens to you. Was that the slab guarded by the fire?
If that is, then that means Volcano's the way to grab the last possible key item to get to Mirage.
Okay, I see. It is actually on Quicklit's side. He is in the armory and just took a fire encounter. He took the trap tile fire encounter, either as a mistake or as a preview of what's to come. So slab being in Volcano opens up the possibility that the crown, one of our two other Go mode items, can be in the Mirage Tower Sky Shrine floating fortress, if you will.
And I feel sorry for Salty right now. He's been running into Medusa's left and right.
And Zelnop swinging his way around to the armory room. He is going to pick up the slab here shortly. And Sho just getting out of that firefight.
Question in chat, do they have no armor? Does anyone have armor in any of our streamers right now?
We would have bet the Red Mage probably has something at this point. Silver bracelets were 1,300 gold or so. The Black Belt gets 1 absorb per level. So once they reach 15, it starts outclassing the Silver bracelet. So I wonder if our runners maybe did not grab it just because of cost and of eventual uselessness.
And meanwhile, Salty's having a hard time getting through these ordeal shovel, and he's getting lit too by the Wiz Mummy.
Boy, it's going to stink if that doesn't yield anything. And there's the slab for Zelnop. Yeah, that's such a rough castle ordeals that I would hate to not come out of that with anything.
Well, if you got your wish, Zondo, Zombos have appeared at ordeals.
Well, oh, it looks like they have less than 200 hit points.
Less than
Pop
70.
grind could be a thing. I don't think anybody's going to do it. I think we're too far along for anybody to have done a pop grind. But Will Bloodworth, if you're watching, you are probably right to have done a pop grind if you were in this game.
Is it Will in the race or no?
No, Will Bloodworth is not with us tonight.
Oh man, could have been his seed right here, though.
I would definitely agree with that. I think the seed plays right into his style of play.
Will Salty had to reset because there was a potential soft lock in ordeals. You want to explain that for Zondo?
Yeah, so if the one thing that our developers are trying to figure out slowly but surely is that for every pillar that you take, it creates this kind of counter. And it's something about the memory and how it works. I think it saves up memory, and if you consistently warped, you would go back to the last pillar instead of eventually coming out of the dungeon. And so when that builds up, the more and more that builds up, the more and more you are at risk of a soft lock, which is actually, it's probably more appropriately hard lock. They call it a soft lock, where you go into your menu and all of a sudden it freezes. And that counter is somewhere around 31. If you touch somewhere between 30 and 31 pillars, you are more than likely going to soft lock. One of the only times that you'll really soft lock really hard is if, say, you didn't know which pillars were which, and you ended up taking multiple wrong paths out of, say, the same decision. And so that's probably a tough way to soft lock, but it's certainly a possibility. So we got Quicklit in B4 checking, and we got Zelnop just about there.
Ooh, I would actually run from the Cerebus because Cerebus half fast.
Well, unless they're paired with Wiz Ogres, then you ain't running. Yeah, Black Shirt's definitely an interesting pickup right there.
And I believe Black Shirt casts Ice too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and so that's going to give him potentially 2 players with a cast of Ice 2, which can open up a couple of different things. If you're truly desperate, you can check those fires, but we're going to hope coming up that the Agamas don't have a whole lot of hit points.
Well, let's see if they're packing away their HP or they're weak as paper thin.
Well, it looks like Salty Fry has made it through the portals.
But the question is, will it be worth it at the end?
We're about to find out, because Salty has definitely been in here for an inordinately long amount of time. Quicklet failed on his volcano. I did not see what happened. I was too busy with Salty Fry. Quicklet had to start over from the top.
I wonder if he wiped to the Agamas.
Uh-oh, Salty Fry's one chest away. Mage Staff. I would tell you that's a womp womp, because that's a lot of time for a one castable item. But was that Mass Immune just now? I probably missed that. I was looking at Salty Fry again. The Mage Staff's probably not worth the amount of time he invested in it, but who knows? This zombie degrind could be worth it.
They seem a bit tanky though.
Oh, no, not as tanky as you think, though. That looks about in the neighborhood of 160, 175 hit points. That could be possible.
Oh, and chat informed us that Show did wipe as well.
And it looks like Show's doing what I usually do, is once you check your armory and make sure you've got everything in that B2, you run it out and you save it before you dive deeper. It takes you an extra, 30 seconds to a minute depending on encounters, but you don't have to go and do what he just did.
Ooh, because I'm gonna pick up the heal staff at least.
And it looks like Salty Fry is having some success with the zombie degrind. That could pay off in spades going forward.
But question is, how long would you grind on the zombie dragons though?
I would probably at least get to that charge of nuke, if not 2 charges. So 17 or so?
Especially with a 2-man grind, it wouldn't be too bad to raise that high.
No, and you're setting up your black belt for the solo Agama grind if he doesn't take a 2-man grind deeper.
Ooh, and I just found out that Agamas have glance.
That's not good. That's not going to make this Agama grind worthwhile, especially considering we haven't found any ribbons yet. When they hit pretty hard, too.
And it seems like Zalma agrees with you. He says, nope, I'm going straight to Red D.
And the Agamas have ruse, as if it didn't get worse.
And they have slow.
Slow and ruse. I don't think we're going to see a black belt Agama grind this game.
And I'm guessing that Salty might chose the right monster for grinding after all.
That may be true, because now the other runners have to consider secondary grind spots, whereas Salty Fry is potentially going to find success with his first. So
I just realized he's just grinding his red mage.
Well, his black belt just died, but I think he's got life. And so he's able to bring back his black belt when it dies. So the question is going to be, how many of our runners decide to go for Steak and Wings? We've got Zelnop giving a shot at the Red D, but I am never a fan of doing the Red D for a couple of reasons. One, they typically roll either high evasion or high hit points, something that's just not good. And then you've got what's called the step-off encounter, where if you step off of this tile, there's a possibility of getting an encounter on the tile next to it. So throughout the process of grinding, you could end up finding other encounters that you definitely don't want to take. And we got...
I'm not...
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of a Red D dragon grind either, because I don't want to risk getting ambushed by something I don't want to take.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, at least for our runners on stream, Salty Fry's in a fairly strong position right now. Despite not finding much, that mage staff has proven to pay off in dividends, and then the levels he's gaining until he gets to nuke is going to prove immensely better than what others are currently doing.
Yeah, and the question is, how fast will he catch up to the others? That's the biggest question in his mind right now.
Well, you also got to figure it, if you figure it in diverging directions, those runners are going to have to spend time leveling up at some point somewhere. They're going to have to find a second spot. Whether that's Steak and Wings or the Eye.
And I believe Exalnov is on his way to carry right now as we speak.
It's gonna be interesting. Maybe he's pausing to reflect right here.
Does he have enough levels to pull it off though?
That's gonna be tough because again, your best spell is Lit 3. You really don't have the firepower to take her out at this point. You don't have the melee firepower to take her out. Volcano becomes a very tough gamble. Despite having the most chests when looking for the floater, it can be a tough gamble because if you come out not equipped to deal with carry, you're gonna have to double dip, and that's more time consumed.
Yeah, Exalma realizes he might not have enough load, so he's probably got to grind some more. Even though he has a heel helm, a black shirt, and his charges of his red mage to deal with.
Yeah, if I were Zalnop, I would just get out of Volcano and go find a new spot, because he's been through Volcano. He's the realization he can't grind Agmas, he can't grind the Red D. I think his next best bet is to just find a new dungeon, find a new grind spot. Oh, it looks like Salty Fry is going to take a bit of a risk here. He is going to try and solo black belt grind these zombie Ds.
That's not too terrible because he can just transfer the light axe to the black belt.
He can, but he's going to run the risk of, like I was talking about the Red D, he's going to run the risk of the step-off encounter. And that step-off encounter could be 6 mummies or 5 mummies, the Whiz Mummy, however that comes out. The Medusas with hold, remember those?
But it got worse. It was become man cats.
That is true too. Man cats are here. Well, here we go, Salty Fry. May the Schwartz be with you on this one.
I haven't heard that line in years, dude.
Zalnop oh no! Zalnop is taking a wipe on his way out. Zalnop running into Blaze Whiz Ogres. That's a rough encounter because when you see just Whiz Ogres, you wonder, is it the Whiz Ogre Gur Ogre fight? Or is it the Whiz Ogre Cerberus fight, which is an unrunnable encounter? And unfortunately, another one of our runners bites the dust.
And according to our chat, according to our tracker Zardia, he has told us that Whiz Ogres also have cremate.
That's just a warm-up. Just realized that was a pun. Just looking off stream, and I know we've seen it on the stream, but we really haven't pointed out because all of our runners have wiped. We found the ruby in the Agama room. That could prove interesting because that adds another 12 chests that the floater could be in, and these runners are going to shy away from it. Show's got his ruby, and it looks like he's... Oh boy. That is poison stone from the Agamas.
That is not good. That is not good. I wouldn't grind a volcano anymore. I would just say get out, go somewhere else.
Boy, I tell you, the creator of this seed is a brilliant, brilliant individual.
Hey, be glad it's not Tristal Seed.
And so now Sho is going to take his attempt at leaving the volcano. Oh, there's an unrunnable Wiz Ogre Cerberus fight. I think they open with Cremate, so he's safe so long as he can... Oh, he opened with Dazzle. So if that holds, it would be Dazzle, Cremate, Blaze. No, double Dazzle. Interesting.
Sho's luck is actually proving him worth it.
Oh, there's the Cremate. Oh, there's the Blaze! And Sho has taken a wipe in the volcano.
Don't tell me that the volcano's gonna replace Marsh.
It's a very hot marsh.
At least it's not Ambush City Marsh, though.
So we've got Quicklet now exploring the ice cave. We're gonna see what's in ice cave and whether or not the eye is going to be a viable grind.
Oh, but the wizards are kind of paper today from the Lit 3 spell.
Anybody got any zombie dragon facts? I don't think I've seen anybody risk a full-on zombie dragon fight. I seriously wonder how far he gets.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to 32 right now.
Yeah, he's at 30. He's only got 2 levels to go, and it seems like he's overcome any step-off encounter obstacles up to this point.
But he's running out of heal potions though, which is the issue right now.
I think it'll be fine. He can pick up a couple of levels. He's going to get some mandatory encounters in the Sea Shrine. That's going to be a normal thing. He probably could take some easy encounters in Sky. Who knows? If he's beefy enough, maybe Warmac comes and pays him a visit. Oh, he gives up at 31, so 1 level to go before that black belt gets the 8 hit, which is... I'm not gonna say it's required, but a lot of times it's very, very much advised when trying to face the fiends in the upper levels.
Well, level 31 is not too bad, but if you want guaranteed survival, maybe 42 if you want to play the safety route. 42
is pretty tough. See, a lot of people go 42 at a 300% seed, but this is only a 220% seed, and so Chaos can't have max evasion. The other fiends can't have max evasion, so having 8 hits is definitely the preferred route. A lot of times that extra, 5 to 10 minutes of grinding to get that level 42 could cost you the race if another did not do that and ended up coming up with good luck. So it looks like Quicklet's on his second dive of the ice cave, excuse me.
And he's getting his silver bracelets for everyone.
Good call. Yeah, I guess that's a good call. Until his black belts get over 15. One of the interesting bugs that occurs in this game that has not been fixed yet is that when you go to the armor screen, it immediately sets all of your black belts absorbed to whatever is equipped on you. So if you do not have anything equipped, it sets your absorb to 0 until your next level up. So it may be good in their position to equip some of those silver rings just in case he has to menu. That way it doesn't reset his absorb at 0.
Yeah, but he also bought a couple of pro rings, so that could be helpful as well.
Well, those zombie dragons, I think, are worth a fair bit of money too. So, he probably had the 45,000 to dump. The only downside is how much money does he have left, and what's going to happen when he finds the price of the bottles.
We haven't seen the ball in any shop yet, right?
We haven't. It's going to be on the northern continent.
So it's either Lazy Gaia or on-rack at this point.
Or vanilla. It could be at the actual caravan itself. Oh, there's Masmoon. Get your Smoon hypes out.
Where was Masmoon then?
It was in the upper left chest of the room with the holes in Ice Cave. Quicklet just picked it up.
Oh, but Race have slow too. And Spectre have FFR.
I'm going to assume, because I'm pretty sure this is Quicklet's second dive into here. I'm gonna assume he ran into some mages that weren't friendly. And it looks like Salty Fry is going to be making a play for the volcano. And so when he's going to come out with his slab, the one difference between him and the rest of the field is not only is he going to have his slab, but he stands a very good chance of beating Carry at this point.
Oh, but here's an interesting twist for you. Zelnok decided to go to Ordeals.
I wonder if Zelnop is going to discover the same things that Salty Fry did as far as the item placement and the potential grind spot.
Oh, but Zombos are less than 100 though, so that could be a potential grind too.
Yeah, unfortunately for our runners, I definitely think the Zombo pop grind ship has sailed. I think anybody that goes to it now probably has to know they're too far behind.
Oh, and Shield decided to grind on fires, which is not that bad. But Quicklet is in a lot of trouble right now because he only has a solo red mage right now.
No, he still has one of his black belts. He still has the life spell at level 1. And those Peds are noping out of that fight with Salty Fry. I'd like to see Salty gain one more level before fighting Carry. It's going to upgrade him from 6 hits to 8 hits, and it's just less of a risk. But the problem is he's going to encounter some really bad Agamas.
Ooh, we didn't catch this on stream, but it just got informed that Frost Wolves have Blizzard.
Oh, here are those mages that I want to say it caused Quicklet. Maybe it wasn't the mages that caused Quicklet to reset from the Earth Cave, or from the Ice Cave, I'm sorry. So just to make you aware of some stuff that's going on off stream, Minochi is taking his first shot, I believe, at Carry right now. With just a black belt, he has a stoned red mage.
Has anyone get any orbs lit on the offline side?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to keep up at the moment. Like I said, Minochi's in a fight. Darkwy Duck is down in the Earth Cave, but I don't think he's got anything lit. And then Brilliant, I haven't seen his menu yet. Carry is pretty beefy and is giving Minochi a run for his money. And Minochi has wiped to Carry. And he has forfeited. Minochi has dropped out of this race.
That's a shame, though. I thought Minochi's gonna do so well in this seed as well because he does do black belt strats.
Yeah, I just wonder if he feels like, if he hasn't beaten a Fiend at the 54-minute mark, does he feel like he's out of it? And truth be told, no one has beaten a Fiend that I have seen at the 54-minute mark. So I think if Minochi comes back and watches his VOD, or even joins us live, he might be a little disappointed with the results with his particular time of forfeit. Last thing to check, Brilliant does not have any orbs lit either. So for the 6 runners that remain, we have 0 orbs lit between them all.
And I believe Quicklet is grinding on the eye.
The eye is going to come across the same problems as the red D and the zombie D, is that there is the potential for a step-off encounter. We've seen the wizards are kind of paper, the mages hit okay, but did not really cast anything. The Wraith images are going to slow him down a bit. I don't think I've seen anything too dangerous in this particular ice cave. And there's Minochi joining us in chat there. Okay, so Minochi forfeited because he lost a grind, unfortunately, at that carry wipe.
He must have had grinding on the Agamas.
Yeah, so we have... The Mastimmune was, you know, the upper left chest there. So far, I had not seen anything else.
What was the eye guarding anyways?
Not sure, because that was when I was looking to see if the other runners had any orbs lit.
Well, Sho is doing his fire grind right now. Chat informed us that the floor chest had money, which is not worth going to Ice Cave.
Well, Zalnop has found his mage's staff. That eye looks kind of beefy, actually.
And I think Exalnop figured out the grind spot right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you lose a black belt like that, it doesn't help with their levels.
Oh, Cerebus has lit 1.
There's a small part of me that is hoping the floater is in the ruby-locked chests of some kind, preferably Earth B4. But it could be behind the Titan, it could be in Titan's Cave, or it could be in Earth B4. Zar, I see, is hoping for maybe a crown-locked floater in Marsh. That's one that actually becomes more attractive as some of our runners, actually most of our runners, did not check Marsh. And so for them, it opens up another 3 chests. It could prove to be a viable place to go look for chests, but they have to find the crown sooner than later.
But there is that potential that the floater could be behind the vampire.
So it looks like Zalnop is taking his shots at the zombie D, very much in the same way Salty Fry did. Salty Fry is going to go take us and give us our first look at carry on stream here. So good luck to Salty Fry as he encounters this monstrosity snake with all the arms.
Well, don't forget that Salty Fry's black belt's at level 32, so it could be a potential that he could wipe carry out easily.
Hey, Minochi, you're there in chat. What level was your black belt when you wiped the carry? Oh, okay,
Ooh.
27.
Carrie had Fire 2 in her arsenal, but she's dead.
That's kind of a beefy carry. It took 2 black belt punches and a nuke. That was over 1,000, I want to say. But we've got our first orb lit of the game. It belongs to Salty Fry with his takedown of carry. And at the 1 hour mark, it is a good time to update anybody who has stumbled in here on what has been going on. This is our Stage 5 alignment neutral flags. It is 3 black belts, 1 red mage required for all of our racers. Same flags as last round, so all the enemies have 45 to 220% stat allotment. And no incentivized chests. And up to this point, it was a non-marsh required TNT and a fairly poor spell allotment. And so Agamas were pretty nasty on the grind, so Salty Fry opted to take his frustrations out on the Zombie Ds, just as Zalnop is now. Quicklit is taking his frustrations out on the Eye, and Sho is fighting fire with fire, which is a poor thing to do when you're a fireman.
Now the bigger question is, where is Floater?
That is a great question because the only progression item we've found so far is the slab. We have technically found the ruby, which could or could not be a progression item depending on where Floater ends up dropping. That might have been another pun.
So chat, let me hear your ideas where could the location of Floater could be hiding. Give me some predictions here, everyone.
Yeah, let's hear it. Your options are Earth B4, Titan's Cave, or bottom of Marsh. We have not seen Marsh on stream. Could we find the crown?
Wait a minute, did Minochi go to Marsh first before he went to the volcano?
I believe he did. I know I saw him in Marsh. I just didn't see what he got. And Minochi, don't say anything in chat. Don't spoil it for us now.
And Fuchsia is trying to politic his way hard with saying, sell that heal staff. I'm like, are you crazy?
Oh yeah, no, you gotta sell that heal staff. It's not worth a darn. The fact that it casts heal 1 is just a throwaway item.
Like, I wouldn't sell it. I'll just drop the item.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. Depends on what it sells for. But if it casts heal 2, it'd probably be a much more valuable item.
Well, according to Fuchsia, the heal staff sold for 1.6k gold.
It sell for that, or was that the list price? You only get half that.
No, the main price was 3.2k, 700.
Looks like Salty Fry is taking the ruby bait. We're gonna find out here shortly whether or not his gamble is going to pay off.
Surprisingly, these tigers have low morale.
It is not in the Titan Cave, so Salty Fry's gonna walk over and grab the rod. In the meantime, we're gonna peek in on some others. It looks like we got Darkwing Duck about to take on Lich. It'll be his first orb.
I wonder what Darkwing Duck has in his inventory right now. Especially, I want to see if he has a floater or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna spy on him a little bit and see if I can peek into his inventory if he lets me see long enough.
Now, keep my eye on the stream right now as we see. Here, so that means he's gonna go ahead.
I'm gonna assume deep down in the Earth Cave, Darkwing Duck found the defense sword.
That is not a back pickup, to be honest. And now Sho has the ruby, and he's gonna go straight to red D, or is he gonna go straight to carry?
Oh, Darkwing is struggling a bit with Lich. None of his black belts are powerful enough to hit more than one hit, one damage. So he is using a combination of Black Shirt, Lit 3, and the Light Axe to try and take him down. And he's kind of beefy too.
Lich beefy as well. What is this seed?
Well, I mean, you know, when you're not taking him on with a 32 black belt, you know, usually you don't take Lich seriously. But I guess Darkwing may be finding out the hard way that maybe you should every once in a while.
What level is DW's black belts right now?
They all look to be close to the same level. If I had to guess, I'd say 12. 13, maybe.
Yeah, I would definitely use the items right now against Lich if you have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's even pulling out the Black Shirt. It's doing more damage than his fists. And Darkwing Duck has lit his first orb. He has taken out Lich. Like I said, I'm going to try and peek into his inventory if he lets me see long enough. He does have something. I don't know if I want to spoil it because we got a runner going down there.
Yeah, if I was you, don't spoil it now until he actually grabs it.
Well, suffice it to say, we are running out of places to check. Earth Cave is pretty much the last bastion of what needs to be checked at this point. So, you know, we've seen Ordeals has nothing. We've seen Ice Cave has the Massimune. We see Volcano has the slab. You're left with the Earth Cave. So we're going to find out in short order what that item is specifically. Just know that Darkwing Duck has cleared the Earth Cave and found it.
Now the question is where DW is going to go next. I'm guessing he might as well go to Volcano at this rate. Meanwhile, Sho is actually bound carry right now with the solo black belt.
Oh, and Carrie is giving him a ride. Here it comes. Wait for it. Pow! Right in the kisser.
I swear, these feeds are finding like they're in their last form in TOFR right now.
Man, a fasted Carrie. And I'm telling you, I think Carrie's an underrated boss. I think Carrie definitely needs to be taken. Carrie, and I'm talking Carrie 1. Carrie 1 needs to be taken more seriously, I think, than she is. If there's anything the last round taught me, definitely take Carrie seriously.
Yeah, with 6 swords in each arm, I'll say forget it. I better grind my way and make sure Carrie doesn't hit me at all. Nothing but gold on the second floor of Earth Cave right now, as Salty Fire is just doing with the Earth, in which the Earth are basically so much paper.
Thank goodness for that, because sometimes the Earths are pretty ridiculous.
Max HP Earth, forget it.
Yeah, this seed is definitely going to give us an interesting finishing time. No player has killed more than one fiend yet.
Well, here's an interesting fact for you. Exelnov is about to go to Ice Cave where he's going to find out he's going to get his Masamune soon.
Will Bloodworth comes back, and I keep name dropping him, forgive me, but if Will Bloodworth comes back and watches this VOD, he's probably gonna wish he was here. A pop grind would have done him so much good.
Yeah, and if he was racing with us, then he could actually possibly beat Sho. Because this seed seems to favor Will right now.
Absolutely. I mean, not getting nuke until, you know, you get your level 5 spell, which is like 16 or something like that, Will definitely would have pushed that pretty hard. And then again, we don't have Artia, who would have finished this seed, you know, in about 10 minutes. That's probably not true. That's an exaggeration by about 10 minutes.
Well, Artea is crazy to go with even a one-man strat, so he could be risk-taking everything.
Artia does whatever it takes to win. And that is what it's going to take for any of our runners to take first, is that would dig down deep and whatever it takes.
Well, Salty's about to hit the vampire room soon.
I think Show's going to try and rely on his Black Belt's magic defense to get over the Poison Stone. And Rue's proving no match for the Black Belt.
If only this version had voice acting, it would have been awesome.
Say hi to the vampire, everyone.
Adios, vampire.
Say bye to the vampire, everyone.
Dragon Sword's not back to pick up either.
So here we go, Earth B4. Let's find out what's down here.
Salty picking up that defense source is not going to be too bad for his red mage.
And you know, we've seen all of this building up to this point. We haven't even gotten the chance to talk about what's going to happen beyond Phantom and Temple of Fiends.
Question is, how bad will be the Fiends will be? If Carry 1 was this bad, I wonder how Carry 2 is.
I actually think that might even be too far ahead to look. Let's find out how bad Sea Shrine is. Oh, in the room I hate the most, there's the crown. Oh no, specters of crack!
This cannot be happening.
Oh no, and Salty takes a wipe.
And he has to re-grab the crown.
Oh, and you know, in the mind of a racer, it has to make it infinitely worse once you know what something has, because you know you're more than likely going to encounter more specters as you get down there. We got Quicklit taking a shot at Carrie here.
At least quick listing his crit fit is level 32 black belt at least.
Yeah, next turn we're gonna see what that fasted punch looks like.
Not quite yet, because she just cast fire too. She's just warming up.
Ooh, she's stalling. Oh, and Quicklit gets by Carrie. And so that's going to be Quicklit's first orb of the day. Or not? Okay.
Uh-oh, Spectre Geist Pack at Salty Stream.
Oh, and it looks like... Oh, he left two behind. Having visions of the race the other night with the Bane Red Zahogs. And it looks like the Spectre's opted to punch. So good for Salty Fry for making it past that encounter.
But then again, he has to go back to the vampire.
Is he gonna go back and get the defense sword? Is the question, because the defense sword's in the upper room and the crown's in the lower room.
Question in chat: is Exurfer fixed? It doesn't work on enemies as it's intended to. It just doesn't work for. It only works for the enemies, but it doesn't work on the party members because that bug is still existing. That if it hits the party member, their magic defenses are wide open to 0.
Yeah, and so it was explained to me, and it looks like Salty Fry is going to skip the defense sword. It was explained to me that the magic defense resets like every round, and so even if X for lands, it still resets their magic defense every round.
Unless you have a miracle turn order that you can land the magic spell you burn it on it.
He keeps running into Geists. I wonder if, or Specters, I should say. We'll see how long his luck lasts. It looks like the Spectre may have rolled the low percent, like say 32 of 128 skill order cast.
Well, we got Show versus Carry round 2.
And no red mage.
Good crit hit though by Show though.
Oh, and 2 shots, and Show definitely did not even let her land a punch. Question is, will Salty get out with this crown? So far, so good.
Survey says it's Lich time.
Did Minochi say it was lunchtime?
I don't think so, because I didn't see anything in chat.
And the Lich goes down. That is going to be 2 orbs for Salty Fry after that second trip into the Earth Cave.
Yeah, but too bad he skipped the defense sword. That could have actually helped him a bit.
Yeah, especially if he hasn't found the white shirt.
Unless he's gambling it's gonna be at Sea Shrine or the Sky Castle.
Yeah, we're going to find out whether or not Salty Fry is going to regret that decision. So we're at the 118 mark, and we are still looking for that floater, as Salty Fry is going to immediately pop over and take a crown to a kindly old king in Northwest Castle.
Incoming Dark Elf named Astos.
What? No, that's supposed to be a kindly old king.
But Astos was paperweight.
He definitely went down like he was old. So right now, we're really looking at advantage Salty Fry. Salty Fry has 2 orbs and is now working on the Crown Quest chain, which I believe, if my math isn't wrong, which I don't think it is, we are definitely looking at the Crown Locked floater.
And I just looked at Show screen just now, and he has a level 42 black belt in his party.
Well, Show is probably hoping to play the long game of maybe there is somebody with close to max evade or something that a 10 hit needs to overcome, like a large health pool. Some of these fiends at the upper end can have fairly beefy health totals.
I can't blame Show for going for the distance on this one, because this seed has been brutal.
He'll find his way. He can go the distance.
Wait, I wonder if the floater is locked in Elfland?
I can tell you here in a moment, maybe sooner than a streamer on-screen streamer will tell us where the floater is. As we see Salty Fry turning in that herb that supposedly awakens princes. I don't know why he didn't just administer True Love's Kiss.
We'll see what's in those 4 chests right now.
Gold bracelet, good find. And Pro Ring saves him money.
It's not that bad. Well, he has 2 Pro Rings, but he could afford to sell it. But I wouldn't. But he has that Opal Gauntlet he can sell, actually.
Zalnop's employing a strat that I won't lie, this is a strat I would have considered doing if my item pool were a little better, is you carry around a 3rd black belt or a 2nd black belt alive for the purpose of using items. Unfortunately for him, I would really only do it if I had the white shirt. But having a 3rd player to be able to cast things like White Shirt and Biz 2 would be infinitely helpful.
No! Are you kidding me?
It is nap time on Zalnop stream, and if he doesn't watch it, it might become a permanent nap.
I just have to say, Zar has rolled up a pretty crazy seed today.
And Salty Fry skips out on the Ice Sword.
I would not have skipped that Ice Sword unless you have the... But then again, he might have the Massa Moon.
Well, if you have Massa, you got a black belt that punches hard. You know, in my perspective, I'd carry around that 2nd black belt, and that 2nd black belt would be carrying around the Mass Mute, and then Red Mage would have Sun Sword, Ice Sword, or whatever is available. But that's me, and I'm not in this race.
Well, here comes Salty Fire going for that huge treasury in the dwarves. Let's see what they are packing today.
Thorhammer, good pickup. But not much else. Oh, and he nopes out of it.
I would have kept that Thorhammer if I was him.
Oh, definitely. You still got to visit the Sea Shrine.
Or unless he's trying to say, maybe do Corneri, then the Dwarf Cave.
No, because, like, that's just double dipping unnecessarily. So we are down to 6 chests we have not seen on screen. That is the 3 in Temple of Fiends and the 3 in Marsh Cave. We have technically not seen any of the other chests in Marsh Cave on screen. And with no floater, I mean, who knows? I mean, personally, I'd laugh if it, for some strange reason, wasn't in the crown chest, but in like the regular chests, and because nobody went Marsh.
Is this looking like it might be required Marsh at this rate?
That would be pretty awesome. In addition to all the trolliness, he sticks the floater to crown lock chest.
Oh, it shows that ordeals right now.
And Quicklit saying a quick hi and a quick bye to the vampire.
Let's see what TOF holds in the locked chest.
We'll have to encounter a trap tile with some gargoyles first. Yet
Another
another
pro
pro
ring.
ring. There's the defense sword for Quicklet. Let's see if he can get his out without hitting the crack specters. And it is not in Temple of Fiends.
Oh no, don't tell me they're going down where I think they're going. Survey says, let's gamble at Marsh.
Well, I don't think it's much of a gamble at this point. It just about has to be there. I think we have literally checked every other chest in the opening. And with our crown, there are 118 possible chests the floater could be in. And ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the entirety of Earth Cave as Quicklet is about to pick up his crown. You have seen the entirety of Earth Cave. You have seen the entirety of Volcano. You have seen Castle Ordeals. You have seen the Ice Cave. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for is where is it in the Marsh Cave?
If it's not behind a locked chest, that means that the early TNT was not the right thing to do.
I think Salty Fry went right for the downstairs. I don't think he went upstairs.
Yeah, he went downstairs.
It's a matter of 4 versus 9. I think there are 9 chests down here now that he can check. So it's the chest density it suggests going downstairs first.
There's the tail.
Well, that's good. And here are our paper wizards. And there's a ribbon.
This marsh is not bad.
Boy, I wonder how many of these runners are kind of kicking themselves for not going to the Marsh Cave first. It's a tough risk. It's a tough risk, but obviously you should have done it early if it's in one of the crown chests at the, you know what I mean?
Well, first crown chest says nope, it's just gold right now.
And for any of you watching who play this at home, Salty Fry has made a small, and I only say small at this point, mistake. The upper left trap tile is wizards. The bottom right trap tile is cobras. A little easier to handle. And there it is.
I bet you Salty's like, yep, I'm gonna get out of here right now.
I don't know. You have found 3 good items in this. Maybe you check the last 2 chests. I don't know. This is definitely yeah, Fuchsia points out, is definitely a good seed rolled here. Ruby and crown required.
Was this the dream seed for every commentator wants to see?
Just about. I've been thoroughly entertained by this.
Hey, be glad we didn't enter this race.
I am. I mean, I could have settled with the spell problems. I could have settled with, you know, the bad Agamas, but crown locked, ruby locked, crown locked floater. And so,
Any news from our offline streamers?
yes, so Darkwing Duck has his floater, obviously. He is heading down to Lefane to get his translated slab turned into a chime.
So I'm guessing DW is heading to the Sky Castle at this rate.
The downside is I don't think DW's taken out Carry yet. So, kind of still advantage Salty Fry. DW also has not class changed.
He does have the tail, right?
I think so, or at least he should if he checked everything in that marsh cave. I wonder if it's that, you know, if he has been even to Zardia Islands yet. Yeah, so depending on what happens here, shows a streak of consecutive race 1 victories is definitely in jeopardy here.
I think this is the first time Show's gonna be defeated in a long while.
But with the floater, we've essentially crossed through the first half of the game, and so we still technically have a second half to play, though our runners are pretty well in go mode, having found those who have found it, obviously, all 3 of our items, floater, slab, and crown. We've got Show, who's going to make his way to the Earth Cave to find the crown. Zalnop is already there. Salty Fry is doing all of his running around. Quicklet is checking his chests. So many of our runners have reached probably the halfway point of this game and are just hoping to blitz through the rest of the fiends without checking too terribly more chests.
Zar does bring up a point, though. He said we don't know where Bala is still lurking. Is either in Caravan, on rack, or my personal favorite, Lazy Gaia.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because what I would do here is I usually check them in some sort of progressive order. I'd start with the Caravan. I would check the Caravan just to see if it's in its vanilla location. Then I would check Gaia to see if it's in Lazy Gaia. And then I would check on-rack. But the caveat is that if it's in on-rack and I have the chime and then I'd go get the cube, and I'd actually do Sky Shrine first. More of a proximity, because you're going to go have to visit that area anyway to get your slab translated. No sense of visiting that area twice, so I'd try to knock out Sky Shrine, especially considering many of our runners have an upper level black belt.
Well, to break your progressive way, Salty decided to go straight to... Oh no! Temper's out of the picture!
Yeah, the one downside is if it's here at Caravan, he has to double back. It is not, it's an on-rack bottle.
No, Salty did not check the item shop at Gaia.
Why wouldn't he do that?
He just checked his bills and went out.
Wow. Well, he's going to kick himself if it's... Oh, he's going to have to go back to Gaia to check that. I mean, that's interesting to me. And maybe he's just not thinking of the bottle right now. He's just kind of thinking of what does he need to... Maybe he went and checked the spells, not realizing he hadn't class changed yet. Because I think you get that first one at either black or white as a red wizard. I think it's black. You get the top one of Gaia, and you get the top white one of Onrak, I believe. And Salty looks like he's heading over to get his spells that he missed before, including now Warp, which unfortunately I think Warp's served its purpose at this point. And unfortunately, if you've made it to this point without, Warp is short of maybe getting out of Temple of Fiends after a 4 Gas Dragon fight. It's really not going to serve you well.
Actually, he might use the warp in case he has to go Sky Castle, because remember, there is that several chests line up before the Bridge of Destiny.
So let's give a little, now that we're at the hour 36 mark, and now that certainly we've had a little more fleshing out of the seed, let's give a little recap for those of you who are just joining us. So TNT was not in the Marsh Cave. In fact, it was in early Temple of Fiends, which led just about all of our runners away from the Marsh Cave and over to bigger and better ventures. The best spells, level 1 through 4, were Lit 3 and Brax, so many of our runners struggled in the early game. The Mass Immune was a Ice Cave pickup, which for many of our runners was actually a late pickup. The Slab was in the Armory in Volcano, so it was kind of an early pickup. But the interesting play is that the Crown was in Earth B4, Ruby required, and the Floater was in the bottom right chest in the Marsh Cave, which required the Mystic Key, which required the Crown. So now you guys are pretty much caught up to where we're at. Some of our runners are now going to start hitting up the Sea Shrine and taking their cracks at Kraken, if you will, or potentially going to Sky Castle, going to Tiamat first. We'll see what happens.
And also to add your recap, Ruby was also in where the Agmas were hiding,
which is basically I think the second or third to the last chest you would check in Volcano. Carry has been kind of beastly. We've seen probably, I don't know, cumulatively 10 wipes across all of our runners. This seed has definitely not been friendly to our runners.
And I believe this is Zar's darkest seed peak generated so far in this whole FF randomizer thing.
So now here's an interesting question. You've got one ribbon. How many chests do you check to see if you can fish out a second ribbon if you're running the 2-man strat?
Question in chat: 1,561 damage in Final Fantasy? Yep. That's what you call black belt stress at high levels that you won't expect.
So here for Salty Fry, here comes 6 free chests as he's going to pick up the cube. We are on the lookout for potentially a second ribbon, because it definitely is going to hurt if he doesn't get both of his remaining characters to at least through Kraken. We have got some Bane Sword hype.
You know that Bane Sword is going to be in use later on.
I mean, it's technically going to be used right now. He put it on his Red Wizard. And he equipped it. So our remaining runners, when you're in go mode, there's some talk about how many chests that you actually check. And so there are what we would call free chests. And so they're within a relatively reasonable range that you could grab them without it taking too much time off of your route. And so in the Sea Shrine, as we see Sho Fukamachi picking up his crown right now, in the Sea Shrine, there are 5 basically free chests, 2 that you will encounter normally, and 3 in what we call the Sharknado room that are relatively easy to pick up. In the Sky Shrine, in Mirage Tower specifically, there are 8 chests, which it's debatable as to the ease of their pickup, and then there are 4 as you get closer towards the end of the whole dungeon. So we have roughly 17-ish free chests left to see if we can fish out that second ribbon. From there, it's going to depend on how much work our runners want to do to try and fish out a second one.
By the way, at Unrack, the bottle was there, but it was at a cheap price for a good amount of 3,297 gold.
Man, not only is it a 4-digit bottle, it's a low 4-digit bottle. Why does that never happen in seeds I play in? We've got Sho taking his crack at Lich. One item we have not actually found yet is the Power Glove. We have not found the Power Glove yet either.
Yeah, I haven't seen Power Bunk at all in this seed.
And now we see Zalnop looking at 3 Spectres.
Oh, let's hope Zelnop doesn't get cracked open.
Was gonna hold my breath for Commentator's Curse on that one, but I think he's gonna be alright.
Well, Salty has decided to go to the Sky Castle.
That's kind of what I expected. When you have that on-rack bottle, it makes you take 2 trips to this region. And instead of taking the 2 trips, just take the Sky Castle out first. And so now Sho is taking his crown to the artist formerly known as the kindly old king in Northwest Castle.
But he's gonna realize it's just a grumpy old asshole that cannot do anything right.
So, question in chat, are 2 runners playing on a different version of the game? No, they're not playing on a different version of the game. One of our flags that was enabled with 1.6.4 is what we call the modern battlefield. And so, the traditional Final Fantasy style you will see in the bottom 2 screens, whereas the modern battlefield brings the game more in line with future Final Fantasy games, and it makes it a bit of a cleaner, more aesthetic view as opposed to the traditional blocky, what some might say kind of clunky interface. To each their own, though. Salty not electing to check any chests in the first floor of Sky Castle. I think he skipped Mirage B1 as well. He's probably satisfied with his 1 ribbon.
If I was Salty, I would need at least 2 ribbons for my party.
I think it would... Oh, looks like he's checking some B3 chests. Or 3F chests. I always get those mixed up. Did that sentry just... Oh, he did. That sentry's kind of trucking that black belt a little bit.
Man, they're hitting it's like they were like an ongoing freight train.
I have to go back and see, because he's checking 3F, but he didn't check Mirage B1. Or 1F. My apologies.
I wonder why he's doing that. Probably I think that floors maybe don't have good items in it.
I'm not sure, because they're not spread out. There's a small walk to them, but if you know what the encounter table is, usually you could, if there is a good encounter, you could line that up and work your way across B1, or sorry, 1F without that kind of work. As we see Zalnop grabbing his crown.
And by the way, chat is like hi people Warbeck, because you know Salty's about to hit the Bridge of Destiny soon.
We're almost there, guys. We're almost there.
I am hoping that Salty probably hits 2 Warbecks at least.
And so these are the 4 free chests on 3F that I tell you guys you should check religiously, and you get a pro cape out of it. That's a pretty solid pickup.
And I don't see that Red Mage falling down anytime soon for Salty Fry.
All right, we are now officially one room away from the Bridge of Destiny. Will he cross? Will he get his destiny, or will he be flung into the pit of despair? Let's get those bless RNG hype emotes in the chat for Warmech. Couple of stale nachos are Salty Fry's first encounter.
Slime City.
And he makes it to Tiamat without a Warmech sighted.
Now question is Tiamat packing heat as well, like his other two Fiend brothers?
And resing the black belts to do their job and take hits for Tiamat. And Tiamat goes down like a sack of potatoes.
That hit almost for 1k from DPS on Salty Fry's party. That is actually a good hit.
And Zalnop, who tripped over an encounter of spiders on his way to Lich, has taken Lich down.
I believe that's Selnop's second orb, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. And off stream, it looks like Darkwing Duck followed the same advice I would do, and he is currently in the Mirage Tower.
Oh, but the question is, which side of Seashine you're going first?
Oh no, if he's in go mode, I think he's probably got to be satisfied. He's just got to go to Kraken at this point, especially considering Floater was in Crown Locked Marsh. I think everybody who finds it feels like they've got to be behind. I mean, even though we can see Salty Fry has a pretty clear lead, not just of the runners on stream, but basically on the runners off stream. But still, knowing you've checked that many chests to get to that crown-locked floater, ruby-locked crown, crown-locked floater, you do gotta feel like you're a little behind.
Did Cho finish Earth Cave?
He should have, yeah. If he got his crown and all that jazz, he should have finished Earth Cave.
So just quickly, because he's at the Bahamut's treasure girl lore armory in the islands.
Yeah, anybody who has floater, because I mean it was crown locked in one of the last chests you would check at Earth Cave. For everybody who has their floater, they should have killed the Lich.
Well, apparently Salty Fry's gonna take your advice. He's actually on the left side, going straight to Kraken immediately, I believe.
Yeah, he's got to feel like he either is going to hope to find, and at this point, considering Salty Fry threw away that defense sword, he's got to hope to find White Shirt in one of the next 5 chests that he check. Otherwise, he's just got to feel like he's got to go without, which is a shame, because if he goes back and watches this VOD, he's had a fairly solid lead from the zombie D-grind on. But trying to get into his head and what he's thinking, he's got to feel like he's behind. And so just whatever it takes to get your Kraken down, get your Fiends, and then worry about the problems of Temple of Fiends later.
Yeah, but don't forget, he still has that option to go back to the shrine and go to the mermaid side. And he runs into a Sahag pack.
And one ran away, so we don't know what they have, but it's probably doubtful that they have Fade in this game.
I'm really hoping for Trolley Chaos, to be honest.
He skipped over the other free chests in the Sharknado room.
I wouldn't.
See, I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't at all. That's like saying like you're gambling way too high.
Yeah, because there's a couple of things that are not going in his favor to do these kinds of gambles. He doesn't have a 42 black belt. He doesn't have the white shirt. He skipped out on the defense sword. He doesn't have the power glove, just in case he might need it. He's only got one ribbon. There's a lot of risks at this point that even if you feel behind, I don't know that he should feel like he's in a position where he can even finish, much less finish first. He's got to hope that the luck's on his side in Temple of Fiends.
Question is, would he pull out Triss luck?
Hey, you know what? If he does, it's only because he earned it. Because from that zombie D grind on, he's been in the lead, and you know, you can see on screen the distance between him and the rest of the field.
Yeah, but don't forget, Kraken does tend to hit hard, especially if it's the first Kraken. Meanwhile, Zalmon's about to finish his crown chain of events.
Alright, let's see how bad Kraken is. Ah, you made him ink. Oh, he's got stupid high absorb! And somewhat high evade. That was a fasted... Was that a fasted 4-hit, or did he go before the red mage? Because that was a 4-hit for 133.
No, the fast actually went off before the black belt hit.
But it's the paper Kraken, has less than 600 hit points. And that is Salty Fry's 4th orb. Salty Fry will be the first to enter Temple of Fiends, assuming he doesn't make too many stops between here and there.
I think the only stop he's gonna do is probably just
oh
package.
No! That Mudgull has nuke.
Hashtag welcome back to Ice Blue Production Seeds.
We missed those in the Sky Castle. Salty navigated the entire Sky Castle without really encountering problems with or even seeing the Mudgulls.
But he still has that one chance left, because remember, they're all on the Earth floor.
Oh, that's right, they are on the Earth floor. They are moved into that position, that's right.
So, he could have, he either has memorized the encounter table, or B, he has Triss luck inside him right now.
It could be a little of both at this point. I'm pretty sure if he has not seen Mudgulls with nuke, he doesn't know Mudgulls have nuke, and so it's gotta be a good bit of luck.
Well, in an hour and 54 minutes, here comes Salty Fry going to the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Some things we want to be on the lookout for that we haven't seen yet. Worms and Gas Dragons are an unrunnable encounter. We have not seen either of those yet. We know Frost Wolves have Blizzard, which is one of our unrunnable encounters. And here is the Gas Dragon fight.
Let's see what they're packing today.
Lowish hit points. Looks like 254 or less. Well, somewhere between 254 and 160 or whatever that first hit was.
Which is not terrible, actually.
No, not at all. Those things can roll like 700 plus hit points sometimes. And now here's our fight with Phantom. Let us hope Salty Fry does not forget he's not playing round 4 flags. You are not done at the Phantom.
Nope, because you gotta finish the entire game this time around.
I don't know if he means to, but that one black belt on the top is gaining some levels. And now for the validation chests. Power Staff, which is nothing.
I wish Power Staff did something besides attack power.
Oh, it'd be great if Power Staff did the same thing as Power Glove. Here's another unrunnable encounter, Frost Giants and Frost Wolves. We know the Frost Wolves cast Blizzard. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, so far no one else has forfeited yet except for Monochi.
Yeah, he thinned out the Frost Wolf population pretty good, somewhere between 66 and 75 hit points.
Let's hope we don't have that 1k Frost Giant.
Now, just because Salty Fry looks like he's got a sizable lead, that doesn't mean much depending on what happens to these fiends. He still has to play the game, and he still has to make it and make it through, and he once again encounters this unrunnable encounter.
But this encounter is not too bad at all, except, you know, Frostwolf's having Blizzard, which could be the problem.
Yeah, it depends on what the turn order is going to be. And how many of these low roll thunders happen, lit 3s happen, I mean. It looks like he's going to be ultimately alright, but this is going to eat a lot of his health pots.
Yeah, plus it's also eating up his level 1 charges as well. I've got a question for Chad. What do you think, which fiend is going to give the runners their worst fear?
Yeah, who is going to trip Salty Fry up? Which one of the 4 fiends, if not multiples or chaos, do you think is going to trip up Salty Fry?
Well, I see a vote for Carry 2 and Kraken so far. Another one for Carry.
And I can't tell you how much I want it to be Lich, because we never give Lich any respect. We don't give Lich 2 any respect. It just once, I want him to go first shot nuclear, or first shot nuke.
Actually, we had that a few weeks ago. We had Lich 2 with the nuclear, if I remember correctly.
I just think that Lich 2 is the Rodney Dangerfield of Final Fantasy Randomizer. He just gets no respect.
Oh, there's a vote for Tiamat too. Oh, our Caribs have Toxic, the damaging type, actually.
Well then. Stay out. It's like that old movie Piranha. Scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. That's exactly what it's like here. Don't go in the water.
Paper Lich 2 confirmed.
No respect. No respect.
Yeah, but 1k damage from the master himself is ridiculous.
Yeah, and Czar pointing out that Salty did get by without seeing any mud goals.
Well, we got the other goals coming up because there is an iron goal waiting at Tiamat's floor.
Yeah, but the odds he has nukes pretty low.
For those who voted for Carry 2, good luck because Carry 2 is coming up right now.
Carry 1 was a bit of a pain. Let's see how bad Carry 2 is. Is this going to be Stephen King's Carrie, or is this going to be Carrie Bradshaw? Which is it? over 1,100 hit points, or about 1,100 hit points, and fast again. But she won't live long enough, right? Nah.
Man, Salty's early zombie degrind is actually paying off for him dividends like crazy.
Yep, and here we thought with a dungeon with nothing in it, ends up giving the most favorable grind spot.
Oh, and Salty got lucky. He has a Naga water pack he can run from.
Yeah, you can run from the waters with Nagas in them, but you cannot run from the straight water 4 to 6 pack. And there's Mud Goals on show screen, and there's the nuke for show.
Well, this seed has a trace of Ice Boot Productions in it because I actually had Mud Goals with Nuke before.
And so here's our unrunnable water fight.
They seem a little bit beefy because it's beyond 100 HP. Oh,
yeah,
plus 200.
Definitely beefy. Luckily, they're not hitting terribly, but if they don't die soon, which another round of Ice 2s don't do it. 4 rounds of Ice 2 did not clear these waters out. If they don't kill them soon, there could be a little bit of trouble. Five rounds of Ice 2 did not clear them. 6 rounds of Ice 2 only got 1.
Man, these Ice 2s are packing like it was a ton of HP today.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't get any more of those, because that's gonna chew through his health pot supply. She's down to 47, and if you think of it, every 10 is 300. He's about to eat at least 20 to 25 of those right now. Did he have a Cure 4? Is that what he just dropped?
Yeah.
No, he gambled. Or he knew the encounter table. Let me rephrase that. He could have known he wasn't going to get encountered to that point. But that was definitely a gamble I wouldn't have taken.
Way too high risk for my blood.
Salty Fries just playing fast and loose with the luck here.
If he pulls a Tristle, I'll be shocked.
Well, here he comes on Kraken 2. We'll see what happens.
For those who voted for Kraken 2, good luck.
Man, it's another paper Kraken. Can you hear the disappointment in my voice, folks?
Well, wait a minute. Don't forget, we still have Tiamat and Chaos to see what they pack.
He just floored it right into the Tiamat fight. No stopping for nothing.
Tiamat's Absorb is not that strong this time around.
I don't know. A fasted black belt 505. Well, I guess it's a non-crit, so it's probably fine. See, 159. 11 hit for 159. That is still a little high.
Tiamat with stun though, and fire 3.
Yeah, he's getting off kind of easy. There we go. So he has made it through Tiamat. Now, just to see if he doesn't get any encounters between here and the stairs. Rock goals.
Okay, rock goals are not bad, because they're runnable.
But they didn't run the first round, and they're hitting kind of hard. Oh, he takes that red mage out. This might be... Okay, he makes it.
Well, for those who bidded on Chaos having the most possibly troll, here's your last chance.
Yeah, it's the last chance for romance here. Salty Fry is taking his Chaos encounter at the 205 mark. And there's no one behind him. So, I mean, he could take a wipe here and still feasibly be in this to win.
And Zarya with the question, will the incalculable B-Bank grinding ordeals pay off? It's looking like it might.
Yeah, hey, we don't know what Chaos has yet, though.
But he does re-race his 2 sleeping members.
Oh, he did. He still only stuck with the 1 ribbon. He has moved it to his black belt. All that Red Mage has to do is get a fast cast off. No white shirt, no Invis 2, no Invis, no defense sword.
Oh, and Chaos might have Absorb, actually.
2 hits, 220. That's high evasion. So that fast cast is going to be very important to make sure he gets it off. So long as that Kraken doesn't punch that Red Mage for like 400 damage. And the fast gets off. Okay, that's a bit better.
Oh, but Chaos hits hard though. That was a 620 damage on the single black belt with no armor.
Yeah, those paper black belts are doing their job.
Well, he's tempering his last master. That's a good thing.
10-18 and he's still up. And he didn't hit him that bad. Ice too. He's being very friendly to Salty Fry. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Salty Fry has crossed first place in the defeat of Chaos, opening race of Stage 5 flags with an official SRL time of 2:07:12. Let's get some GGs in the chat for Salty Fry.
That was one incredible feat from Salty Fry.
And we've been so single-mindedly focused on Salty Fry and his trench run, if you will, that we're taking a look now at the other runners. We see we've got Show in the Sky Castle. We've got Quicklit making his way over to the on-rack area. And it looks like Zunlop's in on-rack buying supplies. I don't know if he's gotten and taken care of that bottle yet.
This seed was all Will. Will Bloodforce draft will be perfectly whatchamacallit. This would have been his seed.
Absolutely. This definitely proved to be a challenging seed on multiple fronts. Light amount of magic usage early. Definitely some trolling monsters. The progression items being in their extended locations. How many check Earth B4 for a progression item?
Yeah, and especially with both key items required to get the floater was ridiculous. Rerolls like 100% the whole entire game.
Yeah, about the only thing that would have made that more trolly is if the Ruby were somewhere like Castle Ordeals or somewhere that wasn't even in a typical spot, either Ice Cave or Ordeals.
Yeah, but 1 ribbon, that is guts.
Yeah, 1 ribbon throughout the defense sword, just throughout the evasion altogether. That was a bold and courageous run by Salty Fry to just defy those odds and just crushed it.
Oh, in chat, if you have questions for Salty Fry, post them right now in the chat room.
And we are bringing in Darkwing Duck onto your bottom left stream to replace Salty Fry.
Welcome, Salty Fry, GG, and congrats, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Wow, Salty, that was that was quite an impressive run that you had there. An impressive string of luck and a very interesting series of decisions that you made. But let me just get your first thoughts. Just tell me of your overall. How did you feel about the seed?
Well, to start off, like, it was nice obviously to get the TNT and just get the hell out of the initial starting area. And usually when that happens, usually what I do, especially if I have no gold, I'll go right over to the Crescent Lake area rather than even bothering checking Elfland, so that way I can just farm up some gold there and then head back over. And I decided to try Ordeals after that. Didn't really have anything, but then I found those zombie dragons with just a little bit of HP, and they seemed to work out pretty well. I wasn't too sure how that was going to turn out in the end, but when I got to Volcano and seen those Agamas with Glance, that kind of made me feel a lot better about that decision. Kind of felt like I kind of caught up there, because I figured people wouldn't be grinding on them. After that, I don't know. Just seemed everything kind of fell into place after that, and I guess all the items were kind of in weird locations, the floater being way down there in the bottom of Marsh. That was pretty trolly, I guess, behind the ruby and the crown, I guess. I didn't even think about that until now, and actually, wow, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of crazy.
We got a question from chat for you, Salty. Why did you choose the zombie grind before doing Volcano?
Well, I got there, like I was there already, and I noticed they had less than 200 HP, and it just seemed, why not while I'm there, right? Because who knows what the Agamas could have, right?
Good point. And I have a question for you myself. Why you threw away the defense sword when you had the chance?
I died to the Spectre that died to Crack, and I just didn't go back to get it a second time because it was kind of out of the way. I didn't really want to take any extra fights because those Spectres with Crack weren't too fun.
So given your, when you realized the floater was locked behind the Marsh Cave, which was locked behind the Ruby, when you found the floater, did you feel like you were behind at all?
I wasn't really too sure. I felt like I could be a little bit behind, like all depending, I guess, how much time people spent grinding up to that point. Like I figured if maybe they went to Volcano and got the slab right away in the Ruby, then maybe they would have been directed towards that quicker than I had, since I spent a little while grinding up in Ordeals. But I figured at the same time, I already had my levels for the most part. I had one ribbon. I would have really liked the second one. I felt like in a position where I could really just kind of go for it at that point in time and just see what happens. Like, at least in these races, I feel like you can kind of take that chance. If it doesn't work out, well, there's other races to try again later, right? And hopefully it'll work out in one of them.
Did you run into any mud goals on your way to Earth?
I did not. I didn't get any of them on the Earth floor, and in the waterfall, all I got was the nightmares.
Yeah, the mud goals had nuke.
Oh, jeez, I'm glad I did not run into them.
Your lucky streak was like crazy. You had like all the Triss luck in the world for you on this race.
Like, it feels like the only real horrible thing I ran into was those Spectres with Crack. Like, they wiped me when I was down there right after I got the crown the first time, and then I had to head back down there the second time, but I knew basically I just had to check that one room of chests, and I could basically head right to Lich beyond that, so that wasn't horrible.
So we've got Darkwing Duck here now on his path outside, past the Vampire and Temple of Fiends. We've got Quicklit overcoming Kraken. And Sho is making his way down on the Kraken floor.
It didn't seem like Temple of Fiends was too bad, or at least I didn't really run into anything horrible. It felt like I didn't see any nukes.
We got a question from Master Zardia. He says, did he expect to win this race, Salty?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I expect to win it, but I'll say compared to round one, where I came into this not really knowing what the hell to expect, I've gained a lot of confidence throughout this, and I've managed to find a way to win in every round other than round one. So at this point in time, I feel like I'm capable of just about anything. I feel like my strategy is decent, where I just kind of go for it and kind of hope for the best, and with 8 or 10 chances, just got to get lucky once, so you never know.
Yeah, you've actually managed to break Show's 3-game opening stage win streak, so that's something.
Hey, we got forfeit just now. Brilliant decided to forfeit the race.
Yeah, we're going to see a wide variety of times here. I've seen some of these practice races and sessions go as far low as 135 even, but we're definitely seeing what might be the potential upper end of some of this fights with pretty poor magic early and just a sort of a rough go at it from a lot of our racers.
Question, Salty. How did you like those waters with those a lot of HP on them?
The weird part was, I thought I fought a group of them, and I felt like a nuke and an ice 2 took care of them when I fought them in when I was heading down to Kraken the first time. Then I ran into that big pack of them, and I just started using ice 2, thinking 2 or 3 of them would take care of it. And the next thing you know, it's going 4 rounds or something like that. If I'd known that, I would have just nuked them the first time. I wanted to kind of conserve my charges a little bit, just in case a nuke could come in handy going forward.
On screen, we must have had a cumulative wipe total of, I want to tell you it's 10 plus. Carrie gave some people fits. There was just the crack specters. There's just a ton of wipes this race.
Yeah, like Waterfall, I guess, is probably the one that I just probably walked right through and didn't even realize the possible horrors of that. So yeah, like I said, I never saw those mud goals at all with Nuke.
Yeah, according to Brilliant, he's on chat right now. He wiped that waterfall 10 times.
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah, that mud goal fight is a common one, I believe, in Waterfall Cave.
It actually is, so I wouldn't blame him for quitting on nuke mud goals.
I basically wasn't hard resetting. After I got the ship, I didn't really bother because it didn't seem like the encounter was that great at the beginning, so I just kind of kept rolling with it, seeing what happened, and I guess at least when I got to Waterfall at that point it worked out well, I guess.
But I was pretty shocked that you had one ribbon the whole time.
Yeah, the other thing that made me feel a little better about only one ribbon is wall was also really low level, so I could use that if I had to. I just kind of kept, I guess, that and life. I had both life and life 2 at really low levels, so I could use those a bunch if need be.
You'll have to remind me, was life 2 like level 4 locked behind Red Wizard? Because we didn't see life 2.
I think it was level 3. It was usable
Yeah,
from the start.
I checked. It was at level 3.
Oh, okay. Because what happened is because of the early TNT, a lot of people actually went Crescent Lake first, or Melman Crescent Lake first, so we missed a lot of what Elfland had to offer.
Yeah, it had life 2, and exit was Red Wizard locked at level 4.
Well, speaking of stakes, Exono just killed the Tyro just for you, for Zondo.
Hey, they're very juicy and just they're so nutritious for you.
Oh, but that palette swap of carry on DW screen is actually pretty menacing, to be honest.
Yeah, Darkwing's one of the few players in our league that play on the flash cart, and so what you see on a lot of his is an original system with the Final Fantasy randomizer loaded on a flash cart. So that's kind of why his screen's a bit more of an old school feel to it.
And Zara informing us that DW actually opted to put the palette swap on.
Yeah, the palette swap is one of our really cool features, but for me, it's hard for me sometimes to determine which enemies I'm fighting. You know, the colors kind of throw me off. We also have an option for kind of funny names, too, that you can enable. But after a while, to me, it's just I just prefer the originals. Oh, Lich One had Nuke as the opening spell. Oh, and down goes his red mage.
This is not good for show.
Wow, that was another nuke that apparently I managed to avoid. Although my red mage did have over 400 HP, I think, by that point in time, so I probably would have survived.
Is Show gonna gamble without the red mage? Because that is like super risky at this point.
I wonder if he feels like the opening nuke is something he wouldn't overcome if he reset, because either it's a skill or a melee that would save him, and it depends on what the percentage of the spell casting is.
You know what? I just realized that his second master's name is actually Momochi. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, Sho and Minochi have a thing going back and forth about how Minochi keeps naming the characters that he dans Sho.
Probably just revenge for saying, if you dan me, I dan you back.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna press forward with this.
But did you see that palette swap you saw on DW's side for his Kraken Q? That's actually a not bad color scheme.
Yeah, some of the palette swaps do look fantastic. It wasn't until the palette swap that I actually realized what certain monsters actually look like. I just kind of got used to seeing a color blur, but with these palette swaps, you can see the finer detail that kind of gets lost in some of the original palettes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, kind of in a dumb way. Like, I never realized Carrie was actually a snake.
It took me a while to figure that out until I saw the Dawn of Souls version on the GBA.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like, to me, it kind of looks like she does the MySpace angle kind of thing with her picture.
Yeah, like she's looking diagonally, if I'm not mistaken.
So we got Darkwing on the T-Mat floor, and we've got Sho there as well. Now, Sho has kind of brought up the rear a little bit, and has come up and has caught up to Darkwing. It looks like Darkwing's probably in a slightly better position, but Darkwing's playing with a full party of lower-level black belts. He's got one that looks like it might be in the high 20s.
Yeah, but DW didn't class change at all.
I guess the fact that Sho got by the water floor is pretty amazing, because if he got into the water fight, he was probably done for.
That's probably true, because they hit, I mean, 50, 75 or so at least. Oh, a 4 worms fight for Darkwing. A little comeuppance for Sho, which is Sho lost round 1 by 1 minute and 7 seconds because he ran into a 4 worm fight on this floor. As Sho hits the Twilight Cosplay Club.
Apparently, these vampires doesn't want to let go Sho that easily.
So we've got Zelnup on T-Mat 1, and then we've got Quickly on Kraken. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Did Sho run out of supplies, or is...
I think he put everything on the top master.
Oh, but like... Oh, okay, he did okay, he got more levels. That was a 9. I need to learn how to read. Oh, and Chaos is chunking him down. There's a lit 2 for a little reprieve. And a fire 2 for a little reprieve. Boy, if that chaos keeps meleeing, though. Oh, another chunk. Oh, and he overcomes. That is a second place finish for Sho Fukamachi with an SRL time of 2:25.27. GG to Sho. Next up in his pass-through, we've got Darkwing Duck, who I believe is on the Chaos Fight. He better get his menuing in order, though, because it looks like Quicklet's coming right up on his heels. And Quicklet, ooh, he's going in the menu, so we'll see which one engages first. But Darkwing has lost a lot of time going through the menu here. Quicklet has engaged the fight first.
He wants his master, though. Hey, Sho, GG, my friend.
Hello, hello.
Show your streak of Race 1 victories.
One second.
In the meantime, we have both Quicklet and Quicklet and Darkwing Duck facing off against Chaos. Darkwing doing a bit of buffing, which may also cost him, depending. Given the names of his black belts, I don't think he particularly likes the traditional black belt strategies. And there is our done from Quicklet in third place with an SRL time of 2:26.40. GG to Quicklet. We're going to try and get him in here for an interview as well.
Meanwhile, DW is struggling against the Chaos Fight right now. He's casting nukes right now.
All right, Sho, how did that work? Did you get it fixed?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Excellent. Sho, GG on second. Unfortunately, your streak of Race 1 victories has to come to an end tonight.
That's all right. I mean, this seed was quite interesting for sure. The Ruby Lock Crown, which led to the Crown Lock Floater, you know, and of course, like wiping a whole bunch in Volcano was definitely not helpful.
Sho, did you run into any waters?
I ran into one water, but I killed it pretty fast. I discovered that Mud Goals had nuke, so the waterfall was a pain in the butt.
GG Quicklet.
Thanks. That was an interesting seed.
Yes, it was. And GG Salty for first place.
Thanks, GG guys. Apparently I was lucky and managed to avoid those new mud goals.
Did you wipe in Volcano any? Because I wiped a lot.
I didn't. I actually went to Ordeals before that and leveled a bunch on the zombie dragon, so I kind of just walked right through there.
That's how you did it. I saw you finish and like, I thought I was doing great. I thought I was pretty far ahead. But I did have a wipe in Volcano and I had to double dip it, so that explains it.
Yeah, my only death in the end, I guess, was I wiped on 4th floor of Earth to the cracks, specters, and even then, I only had to go back and get them.
Oh, and Darkwing unfortunately takes the wipe to Chaos.
Aw.
Yeah, Chaos hit pretty hard.
Yeah, the problem with Darkwing's party, and as you can see by his party names, he's not a huge fan of black belt strats, and so he hasn't really employed them. His highest black belt's probably in the, I want to tell you, upper 20s.
Oh man.
Yeah, this seed basically required a 42 black belt, or at least two 32 black belts.
Yeah, Salty Fry had a ton of what I feel were risks going through the game, and so Salty definitely did have some luck on his side, even though he may not have felt it sometimes.
Yeah, like it didn't really feel too horrible when I was walking through stuff. Like I didn't even go up to 42. I grinded up to 32 in ordeals, so I was about 37, 38 by the time I got to Chaos, I think it was.
I did to 32 on the eye in Ice Cave, and then I just kept taking bites until, because I hit 42 just before I hit Carry 2.
Did any of you see Nuke from Lich 2?
Yep.
I did not. I killed him before he got an attack off.
Yeah, Sho, you noticed that he opened with Nuke. Did that play into whether or not you wanted to take the reset?
I thought about it, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go and try it out.
Did he kill your red mage?
Yeah, like my red mage was dead. My third black belt was dead. So I went through Topher after Lich 2 with 2 black belts. And I did have the defense sword, although I didn't use it. So I guess I could have on Chaos, but it was alright.
Yeah, Kraken and Chaos, I used a ruse charge on my red mage and a defense sword. But my red mage was level 44 at the end. I did a 2-man grind.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah.
I just ran two party members the entire game.
Well, 2 party members maybe would have been the way to go.
So, Quicklet, I don't think I got your thoughts yet on the floater location.
I mean, I was praying that it was in Marsh because I hadn't gone to Ordeals yet. And I figured if it wasn't Crown Locked, I was just super, super far behind.
I got a question from chat just now. Any strats to employ in the next stage 5 race if you guys are going to race again on these flags?
I've practiced this stage a few times, and I've mostly practiced the beginning because it's pretty easy once you can find a spot to grind and get your black belt leveled up. But it's really important to get some spell charges as quickly as you can on your red mage, because nobody else can do anything to packs of enemies.
Yeah, 2-manning or 3-manning, I'll probably... I mean, I did that most of this race, and it also depends, you know, how trolly it is. I mean, this one was pretty funny with the, you know, Ruby Lock Crown and Crown Lock Floater and stuff like that. But
I'm curious if that was the latest floater that we've had, if we've ever had a seed that we found.
It was pretty deep because I think the first floaters were found after I remember making the mention. We were at the 54-minute mark and no one had found a floater yet.
Yeah, I think I was at like 1:30 or something before I found it.
Yeah, I was almost at 2 hours when I found the floater.
Yeah, I would have had to been at least 85 or 90 minutes in at that point.
So then, sort of the 1B, tagging on that strats to employ, Salty Fry, are you going to continue and defend this? And if so, do you feel pretty satisfied with your strat and kind of lock that in going forward, or are there any changes you feel you would have liked to have made?
I don't know if there's any changes I necessarily would have made. I will play more, not necessarily to play defense, just more for fun. It was kind of weird last round. I actually won a race after already winning one, and it kind of felt bad, to be honest with you. I'm not someone that really goes out there looking to play defense. I'm just really here for fun more than anything.
Yeah, no, because, you know, there are some of us still trying to notch wins here and there that have to wait to race 14 to get a win.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, like I'm not necessarily out here just for vengeance and all that, right? I'm here for fun, right?
Hey, no, it's all in that good competition. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's over the entirety of the play.
Yeah, and like for like the rest of this, it's just more for practice and for experience more than anything, just for fun. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, nothing beats that experience. And there's Darkwing Duck losing half his party to the nuke Lich.
I just looked at Darkwing Duck's Red Mage level. It's actually at level 31. And Lich has Cure 4!
Ow, that hurts.
Oh man.
Well, at least we know who has Cure 4.
Well, there's that respect you were looking for, Farzango.
I know. Lich normally doesn't get any respect, and in this game, Lich 2's demanding it.
Did no one else go Ice Cave?
I don't.
Yeah, I didn't go Ice Cave. Did you
Um,
run into a War Mech? I ran into it. Did I run into one? I think I ran into one.
I wish I kept running into mud golems on the freaking bridge. I would have taken War Mech.
Yeah, because the Mass Immune was in the top left of the eye room.
Yeah, that's what I had it on my red wizard, and he was so high level, like he was actually doing some pretty good damage.
Yeah, Agamas would have been a better grind if they didn't hit so hard right off the bat. But oh well. So I ended up grinding fires because they have like low hit points, and that worked out to 29. But I had to go back and get more heal potions and then double dip volcano after I wiped a carry at 32.
Yeah, my issue with the fires, I went to volcano really low level. I was like level 9, and I had almost no ice 2 charges. But they didn't have much HP, but I think I found a house in volcano, and that was the only one I had.
Joe, did the glance on the Agamas not really tip you off?
They didn't connect, but just them hitting really hard was really annoying. I didn't think I had enough, like, whatever. And then Grey Worms were really hard. And then discovering that fires have like low hit points, that's when I decided, okay, I'll grind on these. But because of the double dip, I didn't lose too many levels when I went to carry the first time. But I was like, well, she has a lot of hit points, and she killed me, so I gotta go to 42.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what kind of got Minochi off guard, and so he lost his grind because Carrie wiped him.
I figured that's why he quit. If you lose a grind in one of these league races, you're probably done for.
Yeah, we're all gonna grind.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Exelmos just ran into Mudgole with the Rockle pack.
Oh, and there's the nuke. His whole party survives, though. Once you get to a certain point, you can survive one nuke. Just if it were 2 or 3 mud goals, then we'd probably shirk back a little bit.
I did survive the 2 mud goal encounter and they both got nuke off in the waterfall.
Yeah,
But both my characters were at like 30 HP.
yeah. The question in chat is, what was the issue with Carrie? Part of the issue with Carrie was just the insufficient means to kill her, the semi-insufficient grind strategies in Volcano, and the fact that she had pretty ridiculous hit points and multi-hit attacks. And
By
sleep.
the way, have you seen the water palette for Darkwing Duck screen right now?
That is some dirty water.
Did Waters have something? Because I didn't see that they had anything.
Just high hit points.
He's fighting poop emojis.
Swirly poop emojis.
They sound like Patrick Stewart.
But yeah, Waters just had seemingly high hit points, and I mean, it must have been. We felt like it was close to 600 hit points. And though it looks like Darkwing's party is going to suffer a death to the 5 Waters.
So I burned 1 encounter after power cycling when I went into Topher, and I had the easiest Topher ever. No gas dragons. I think I had 1 mud golem encounter, which wasn't that bad. but
Actually,
yeah.
Gas Dragons have like no hit points.
Oh really?
Yeah, 250-ish in that neighborhood.
They're
But,
kind of papery.
Water floor, I never ran into a water. and I think the only thing I hit in air was like a whiz vamp.
So we've got Zalnop, who is down to just a red mage and just taking shots. I don't know if Zalnop lost a black mage in this particular fight, but Zalnop takes a wipe on the carry floor.
Yeah, these are actually our last two racers right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he felt like he could make it to the carry spot without worrying about protection, but he definitely took an unfortunate wipe there. As many of you know, our scoreboard mounts based on a percentage of time finishing after the first place time. And so for some napkin math in your heads, 20 minutes on 2 hours is a 0.16. And so, as we know, the finishing time is 2:07:12, so just after the 2 hour mark. Coming up on, say, 250 or so is going to be the 0.32 mark, I believe. So there's still all the incentive in the world to finish these. If you can get these finished and finished soon, you can still keep it under a 0.5.
I always like to really get a decent finish in one of the first couple of races too, because from there I can kind of just throw myself at them and kind of not really worry about crappy finishes. You can just kind of go for the win at that point in time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I do. I will lay down a good score early, and then I will stress myself out trying to close out that point, and then in race 13 or 14, I'll finally close it out.
Well, the nice thing is you can start taking risks to try and... Because usually the person that finishes in first place took some risks. I mean, it's a lot easier to finish, you know, second, third, fourth, if you just kind of play the percentages.
Did anyone else class change? I looks like these two didn't.
I did, yes. I was really glad I did when I saw the mud golems, because class changing let me cast warp to get out of the waterfall.
That's literally what I class changed for, was to get exit or warp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up both those, and I also grabbed temper as well since I could. Got a couple charges of that.
Yep, temper was really useful too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know if my red blaster was dead by the time I needed it.
Yeah, and Exalum just class changed already.
Did anyone find power bonk?
I did not.
I found power staff next to the phantom and was kind of
Yeah.
trolled by that, thinking it might be it.
Yeah, I was really hoping for either power bonk or another ribbon on those phantom chests.
Yeah, by and large, Sea Shrine and Sky Castle went largely untouched. In fact, I think it was you, Salty, who searched third floor in its entirety. That
Yeah,
was the...
Yeah, with warp sometimes I like to do that. There's those 14 chests or whatever it is right there. You get them all kind of quick.
Yeah, short of that, I don't think anybody checked anything else.
Yeah, so I guess no one found a second ribbon then.
Apparently not, because I only saw one ribbon. That was only from you, Salty.
Yeah, guarded by the wizards.
Yeah. With the wizard, the Marsh Cave incentivized chest was on.
And I believe Exalum's gonna make his... No, he's not gonna attempt the Topher. Is he gonna grind?
Not really
He
sure.
just-
Maybe more spells?
Yeah, he's probably gonna grab the nuke.
I mean, at this... Well, you could get nuke without class changing.
Maybe he wants warp if he's going to grind in Temple of Fiends.
I think he might have... Yeah, could be. I went back to Elfland to get Invis too after I class changed. That was disappointing.
I don't think he's gonna grind. I think he's not gonna grind yet because he's going everywhere right now.
I mean, if he feels like he's got some time, like I said, based on the scoring, you know, roughly what do we got? 3:14:24 represents the 0.5 mark, so you still have half an hour before we get to 0.5.
Yeah, I think with this seed, the percentage, even that 220, like, I think 32 would be like the minimum grind for me. I mean, it's highly unlikely that the bosses are going to roll something really low and all of them roll really low.
Yeah, you're gonna get at least one that's gonna gatekeep.
Yeah, so 32 would definitely be like my minimum.
And I think one of the biggest things about leveling up is everything starts running away from you, and this party is terrible at running away from stuff. So it's really nice when stuff wants to run away from you.
Yeah.
In hindsight, and knowing what you know, those of you who went to ordeals, would you have thought about a pop grind after you found that light axe?
Maybe, because I noticed the Zombies had probably less HP than the zombie dragons, actually. So it might have not been a horrible idea. Because there was also the mage staff there as well.
Yeah, I did walk out with the mage staff. I don't know.
I mean, I know after a certain point, and as I kind of mentioned it earlier, I mean, once you get to ordeals, you're probably past the point of a pop grind, but a pop grind could have set you up early to be a little more successful in your early dungeon adventures.
That's something sometimes I consider before I go into Marsh if I had to go in there, just because I hate taking a low-level party, this specific low-level party into Marsh, because like you guys said before, running sucks, and especially if you're still level 3, 4, 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a pop grind would have worked out pretty well, just because Crescent Lake was terrible for trying to level up.
I ended up doing giants until like level 10.
I tried the giants, but I couldn't kill them at first because it took too many lit 3 charges.
Yeah.
I used Brack and it actually worked out.
I mean, the XPs weren't terrible. They had pretty low morale, and they hit really hard, but you could still kill them in a reasonable amount of time, but they were like 6th or 7th on the encounter rate table.
Yeah, it sucks because I won't get to do another race until Wednesday. I know there's one tomorrow, but I have class tomorrow.
So we have Darkwing, who's basically 3 or 4 steps away from the Kraken to encounter. We'll see if this run fares for him a little better.
It was nice that nothing really had evasion, since we couldn't find the power bonk. But I know Tiamat at least had pretty high absorb.
Yeah, I wish I had my red mage alive so I could cast fast. That would have made things a lot faster.
Oh yeah, I took Kraken out in like 1 hit for 1600 or something.
Yeah, both Krakens were paper in this game.
Yeah,
And everyone's favorite whatchamacallit, favorite troll city just came to life for this seed.
So to preview kind of what we've got coming up, we do have another Final Fantasy Randomizer League race in several hours from now. It'll be Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Many of the runners you see here will probably be back for that. I will probably be playing in it as well. I want to encourage you guys to join us. Yeah, it was actually recently, posted here, but feel free to give our runners a follow. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. No, seriously, feel free to come join us on our Discord. Get plugged into the Final Fantasy Randomizer if you're not already. And just give some love and some hype to Randomania for hosting us. And just much thanks to Ryu for restreaming this for us. Likes and subscribes all the way around.
Meanwhile, DW is taking on Tiamat too, starting with Ice 2 against this party.
I will be quite surprised if like DW can finish this out like at the level he's at. But you know, if he can, kudos to him because that party is like super low level.
Oh, and his red mage is down.
But he does have defense sword on one of the black belts.
Yeah, but without fast, I mean, Chaos is just going to take a long time to die. Considering his black belts aren't leveled very, very high.
Yeah, I felt like Chaos had almost 3,000 HP, I think.
It was definitely a pretty beefy Chaos.
Yeah, and he had some decent evade because there was a couple rounds where I like hit him for like 74 damage.
Oh, and Darkwing hits a 4-worm encounter 2 steps from the stairs.
I'm having
He
flashbacks
didn't even-
of round
he didn't even
one.
love, did he?
Flashbacks of round one.
Oh, and Darkwing is, I mean, I'm not going to say he's out, but it would take 2 evades. No, he's definitely taking a white there.
Yeah, but DW is not giving up that easily, though.
No, definitely not, but I feel like the frustration's got to set in. You made it to Chaos, and Chaos just kind of plowed you right through. Actually, quickly, you ran up and passed him at one point, and you started your Chaos fight before he did, but it was pretty close to similar start times when you both hit Chaos for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess if he didn't do a grind, that would save, you know, a pretty good amount of time, especially since I did a 2-man grind.
And considering it takes probably, I'd say, 11 minutes or so to get from the start to Chaos, depending on just how your encounters go. He's now been to Tiamat 2, he's been to Chaos, he's been on the water floor on 3 separate wipes. I mean, how much time is that, you know, could have been invested in a grind?
Right.
And with the XP where it is, you know, 4 times plus 0, I mean, it's going to take a decent amount of time to get to 32, 42, depending on who you're grinding on. You know, at least, you know, 7 to 10 minutes, I think, from 20 to 32, like on Agama's. And then you're looking at another, like, what, 8 to 10 minutes-ish to 42, if you get there.
And I just realized we were about to hit the 3-hour mark.
Yep, and yet, surprisingly, the way the scoring system works, we still have not hit the 0.5 Chaos point mark. That does come at 3:14. What did I say? 3:14:24. So, I mean, we still even have a full clear ways through it if these guys felt like they could get through.
And I believe the full Chaos point is at 4 hours and something minutes.
Yeah, it would be 4. Oh, sorry, I need to learn how to math. That 0.5 is actually going to be around 3:11:18 or something like that, and then the full Chaos point is going to be at 4:14:24.
And
So-
DW just ran into a unrunnable fight of Frost Wolves and Frost Giants.
Those Frost Wolves are nasty.
Oh,
They almost
Frost
killed me
Giants
in-
had
in
Rub.
Ice
I
Cave.
didn't even see that before.
And Frost Wolves had Blizzard, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And DW is instructing the bait strats to work. Which floor is? Oh no, wait. I thought Pajamas was still in the temple. Will he decide to resupply?
He was leveling up, so he would want to periodically warp out, I'm sure, to save.
So there's 2 mud goals that have just nearly decimated Darkwing's party. See, I used decimate wrong as we talked the other day. In the realm of useless facts, decimate is actually meaning only to destroy a tenth of something. So when we use it in the English vernacular to mean completely destroyed, that's not actually what it means. In case you were interested.
Anyways, GG guys. I'm gonna take off. I do have class in the morning, so I will definitely be racing on Wednesday, my next opportunity.
Nerd.
So.
Nerd.
Nerd.
Night,
Yes,
Joe.
Joe. Yes, my roommate is
Joe.
apparently a nerd. But aren't we all?
We are all nerds.
True.
Anyways, GG guys. I'll catch you on the flip side.
I am gonna head out as well. It's 3 in the morning on the East Coast.
GG Quitlet. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, we press on. We've got Darkwing back on Carrie's floor, and we've got Zalnop heading towards Phantom. Lots really still at stake. Like I said, we're still looking at potentially the possibility of coming in at under a 0.5. And for these guys, that might be a blessing at this point.
Man, this might be going even more further than my random race from a few days ago in the Dragon Boy Randomizer Chaos Seed.
Oh, it's certainly possible.
And for those who don't know, even though I am commenting on for FF1, I am actually running DWR Chaos mode in the tournament, so my luck has not been so well on that point.
All right, so let's see what Carrie is offering up this time.
And DW using the heel helm strats to keep his party alive.
I still feel like it's not worthwhile, even that minuscule amount. I feel like if it cast heal 2, it might be more viable, but I'm almost afraid that's a wasted slot. But, I mean, if he's literally got nothing else going on, what are you going to do? If you guys are just those of you who are just joining us, we are nearing the 3-hour mark of this seed. You are watching the battle for 4th place between Zalnop and Darkwing Duck on a seed that has been fairly troublesome for many of our racers. Our winner was Salty Fry with a finishing time of 2:07.12, so that's a pretty good indicator that it was kind of a rough seed. We had a non-marsh TNT, but then we had a ruby locked crown locked floater, and so it took our runners a long time before they even found the floater. And then on top of that, the spell selection's been pretty poor. Some of the monsters have had just really, really rough stats, spells, skills, and otherwise that have given our runners a huge amount of fits. And so now, like I said, we are down to Zalnop and we are down to Darkwing Duck. Zalnop, who is needed a couple more levels on his Red Mage. Darkwing, who is kind of just throwing himself into Temple of Fiends, hoping to come out on the positive. Darkwing not playing with the traditional black belt strats of leveling a black belt to 32 or even beyond that. And so we are seeing kind of the struggle coming from his end.
Well, he does have his Red Mage beyond level 32, so I think he might be relying on the Red Mage to help his party to survive.
So, Chitin, how have you felt about watching this seed and watching the events unfold tonight?
To be honest, I am glad I did not roll the seed or even race in this seed. I will be like pulling my hair out at this moment. But as a commentator watching this is great.
Hey, even as a player, I can't complain about this one, at least based on results.
Well, you did have the ultimate luck for this seed, so it's like it cannot be beaten.
Yeah, we were really just like a high evasion short, or even a high absorb chaos short of just a hard ending, or perhaps an open nuclear or something like that.
But but DW's kind of in trouble right now because he just ran into a worm pack.
The worms are definitely not faring well for many of our racers.
That was another thing I guess I don't think I ran into at all. I got a few unrunnables in Topher, but no worms.
Yeah, you avoided worms like there was no tomorrow.
Actually, it looks like Darkwing just hit 32 on one of his black belts. I don't know if that happened on previous runs, because I didn't see him grind in any of his wipes. So I don't know if he's making it to this point with a 32 black belt or not. But it could be a good sign.
Well, he does have 6 charges of nuke in his arsenal, so that could help up against Chaos.
And maybe, but we know Chaos has a metric ton of hit points, and even if Nuke maxes out on every single hit, that's only 2,400 hit points.
Well, Tiamat is on the screen right now. Well, oh no, Xelnov just ran into a 3 water pack.
$15 hits for 437 is a fairly solid amount of absorb on Tiamat. And he is going through some of the nukes.
If it was me, I would kind of save those nukes for Mr. Chaos, to be honest.
It's a tough call, because you got to get there. 12 hits for 110.
This is not looking good for DW unless he gets lucky on his next. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, but he took 2 nukes to get him down, so that only brings 4 nukes to the Chaos fight, assuming he even gets to use them all.
Luckily, he gets a runnable fight, so he can actually run away from the Zombie D and Wizfam pack.
Oh, but he fails to run in the first round. These can be deceptively tough, as you just kind of assume you could run, but they are poor run rates, and that encounter and the Twilight Cosplay Club encounter are actually kind of rough on HP. Their physical attack tends to be a bit higher than many other monsters.
And DW is on his way to Val Chaos. Let's just hope he can get through with this.
Yeah, so at this point, he's still looking at that sub 0.5. Like I said, it's somewhere around the 3:11:18 mark, give or take. $3:10:48, maybe? Trying to do the napkin math in my head.
That sounds kind of right, to be honest. Meanwhile, Xalmos has the defense sorted and is defensing his master and fasting his master. Bane strats!
Oh, and he goes right for the one he doesn't want to hit. He pulls out the Blaze. The Red Mage is pulling out the Brack strats. I'm pretty sure Brack works far less on this Kraken than it does the other one.
Meanwhile, Dito's on the Chaos fight right now. Let's see how well he does this time.
He has moved his power hitting black belt to the bottom this time, which I think is a different strategy from the last time he did it. he is going to have to load up on those defense sword charges.
But he does wall his red mage, which is a good sign because you never know if that will come in handy.
Yeah, because you feel like it's only a matter of time before some big spell comes out. Does he have any nuclears or anything like that that'll...
Oh no!
troublesome?
Look at Exelnof's screen right now.
Oh no! And those nukes are not taking them. Those are some low roll nukes there. All he has to do is get out of this fight. If he can just get out of the fight, he'll be alright. Oh no! Those nukes are just not doing the job. Oh, and he safely makes it out of the fight.
Well, DW just threw out his last nuke.
That black belt's just not hitting very hard. I mean, it's consistent damage. He's getting kind of over the 200 hump. It becomes an endurance race at this point. Does he have enough charges of defense on his black belt too? Because now you're looking at I think a 50-50 in the way his party's organized.
No, but he does have tier 3, so he's probably trying to save his black belt as best as possible.
Yeah, provided he doesn't get a bad hit on that black belt, it actually looks... Yeah, that's actually pretty solid. He could probably sustain this for a little while. Or that. It is evident now that there are not enough defense sword charges, and if it were me, I think I would just try and load up on those. And goodbye to the red mage. Oh, and a crit takes out Chaos. That is it for Darkwing Duck. He finishes in 4th place with an official SRL time of 3:07:59.
That was crazy.
Man, oh man, and we've got Zalnop working too.
But he's not looking too good because his nuke charges is down to his last one as well.
He's just gonna burn through some heal potions to get that that other black belt up. Oh, and he gets the Twilight Cosplay Club one step from the door.
I have no words anymore. I have no words.
Yeah, luckily he gets the run. That's a very troublesome fight if you don't get that runoff, and with the way these vampires and wizard vampires hit, if you don't get that runoff, it's gonna chunk you pretty hard.
Yeah, but the question is, can Exalma finish in time?
Yeah, he is officially out of heals. So he's going to come in with a wounded top black belt.
GG Darkwing?
Uh-oh. Do I not hear anything?
There you go. You got it?
I don't hear anything, guys! It's not coming through my speakers. Or my
Oh no!
headset. I'm gonna step out for a moment, try to get it fixed.
Meanwhile, Zelda's fighting Chaos with the 3-man party strat right now.
Meanwhile... And I'm really cheering for him too. One, because that will finish this race off, and only Minochi will have forfeited, and only because he felt, like he couldn't recover after losing his grind. This would be a great finish by all of our racers. This would be very close to a sub 5. It looks like we're going to cross the sub 5 border. But I think all he has to do is finish this race right here, and he will at least get the 0.5.
Can you hear us, Darkwing?
I still can't hear you guys.
Oh no! It's like we can hear him, and I'm sure you all at home can probably hear him, but he can't.
There we
hear
go. Now I
us,
can.
so- Oh, hey, all right.
I changed.
GG.
You see my speaker. If you hear me, if you hear yourselves, it's because I had to throw it through the speakers and not the headset. So, my apologies for that. But that's what I had to do to get you to hear you right now.
Real quick before we get into your post game, Zalnop has taken another wipe to Chaos. Darkwing, why don't you just walk us through your thought process behind the seed?
It was fun. I enjoyed it until I made the bad mistake. I probably would have had a 225, 226 had I finished Chaos the first time. I should have given the defense sword to the strong black belt, and I didn't. I didn't think of it, and it cost me. And it was probably about 700 to 800 damage from the first time I was through, somewhere around there. And if I would have had him buffed up with defense, it would have been fine. But I made that error, and it cost me. And I had to go. It was fun, to be honest. It was kind of fun to go through it the first time because I forgot to buy heal potions. I only had 35 heal potions, and I was able to get down to Chaos, and I should have beaten him if I had not made that error. So that's as fun as a black belt seed could get, I would think.
Yeah, you were actually the first to pull the crown, first to grab the floater. The only difference between you and Salty Fry, who ended up coming in first, was that when Salty had his crown coming out of there, he had already beaten Carrie after doing a zombie degrind. And so that's kind of where you stood for a good portion of the race.
Yeah, I figured that the choices I made were odd enough to where I liked where the floater was. Like, there's a good chance I picked this up pretty early. I think I said that in my stream. And so yeah, it's like, that is an awesome place for a floater, especially given that the crown was behind Ruby. So that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, many thanks to Czar for rolling up this seed. So, any last thoughts before we begin the process of wrapping this up?
I'm so unfamiliar with grinding black belts because I don't like it. I didn't know what to do. Once I got the floater, I had no idea what to grind on because of glance and strong agamas, and I wasn't ready for them when I was there prior. And I like the idea of the spiked tile and the waterfall, and that was. And what did Wiz Mummies have? They had something really bad. They had glance, I think.
They had lit too, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. And that wasn't gonna work, and so I didn't know where to grind. So I ended up doing everything first, and then grinding a little bit more on. I mean, noticed it this time, but I didn't remember when the black belts get their 8th hit, and so it was kind of a how far do I go? It ended up being generally pretty good because I got the 8th hit right at the end where I needed it. But yeah, I don't know how to run these black belts in a terribly efficiently.
Well, I think there was nothing terribly efficient about this seed. Obviously, with the Agamas being pretty terrible, backup strats, and backup strats were really what a lot of people went to.
That's why I enjoyed it, I guess. It wasn't a traditional seed. That's what I kind of liked about it. Like,
Definitely.
I didn't want to do ordeals, and I never had to. I never did ice, so I didn't have a chance to do eye. I didn't want to go all the way through ice just to grind on eyes. Like, there's probably other options. I was considering for a while the 3 mummies in Abandoned
Castle ordeal. Oh yeah, Northwest Castle. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was considering that for a while, and it's like, that's just not efficient. And so it was kind of what to do. And so that the choices to make, like when I didn't even check the free chests at all. Was there anything? Did anybody check them?
You mean like Cardi Islands and whatnot?
Yeah.
Not really.
Like with black belts, like the only thing that would have been useful are ribbons and what, Mass Moon for.
Yep. Mass Moon was in the ice cave in the upper left chest of the eye, not the one guarded by the eye, but the one that's unguarded. And then everybody only found 1 ribbon, and that was the one guarded by the wizards.
Yeah. So it's. I doubt anybody did Sky Castle. There's no reason to.
No. Salty Fry did 3rd floor because he had warp, and so he kind of warped back to the middle of the room.
I can see that. Like I got the 4 on the left. That's something I usually do, and I don't remember what they were.
Pro cape.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Pro cape. That was actually helpful.
Was there any reason you didn't want to opt to a class change before the Temple of Fiends are revisited?
I didn't think it was necessary at that point. There wasn't anything that would help out enough, I think. Like, what equipment? Red Wizard doesn't get that much more equipment.
You missed out on. No, actually, yeah. The only thing you missed out on was warp, really, because the other thing was, Life 2 was at 3. So I mean, everybody had that.
And I had Crown and I had Slab by the time I got Floater, so I didn't have to get anything. And I had my ribbon for the. I had 1 ribbon, which for this party construct is good enough, I would think. So the more I thought about it, the less necessary I felt it was to get it, because I wasn't going to dive any more dungeons that were unnecessary. So I didn't think it was necessary to do so.
Yeah, so we're gonna begin to wrap this up as Zelnop is still vying for a sub 1.0 finish. Darkwing, GG to you. That's good for at least, I think, just a sub 0.5, I think. So
that's better than my last race, which was 1.1.
Yeah, so you're definitely looking at least at a solid finish there. So GG to you. Salty, are you still with us there? I see in the channel. Do you got any final thoughts?
Just basically looking more and more at how everyone else went. I gotta feel pretty lucky about this one. Managed to avoid all those nukes that everyone else seemed to run in. I'll just take the win and move on from here.
Alrighty, Chitin, what do you have?
All I can say is this seed is probably one of the best I've commentated in a long time.
It was definitely a fun one. All right, so one more time, I'll make one more plea. If you have not already given our runners a follow, feel free to do so. Also, feel free to join us on the Discord. You know, I know it's a little shameless self-promotion, but he posted anyway. Feel free to give Chitin and myself a follow. Thanks to Ryu for hosting us. Thanks to Randomania for opening your channel to our randomizer and our gang. Feel free to come join us if you haven't already. It's a lot of a blast. Everyone, why don't you go to Zelnop's channel right now and cheer him on and get him a finish. Help him cross the finish line. He certainly could use your GGs. Feel free to join us tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific for Race 2 of our Stage 5 flags. And for Chitin619, I have been Sforzondo. It has been a pleasure to commentate for you guys. Have a good night and be excellent to each other.